guys. You guys finally made it. Welcome to this lovely campfire site that I set up for all y'owls. Hello. I'm glad you guys were able to find your way and that you didn't get lost. I know it was really hard to get here. And it is the middle of the night as well. It's pretty late. I'm surprised you guys were able to find your footing and not get lost. But I'm glad y'all are here. Else I would have had to spend this this evening on my own. It would have been really sad. That is a gigantic fire. I know. Aren't you guys proud of me? I set up this fire all by myself. I just used, my survival skills. I gathered the kindling and the sticks and, set up a campfire all on my own. Are you guys impressed? You guys ready for some campfire fun? I have a lot of things planned for tonight. But, it is getting kind of late, so if we start to get a little tired, then we can just call it a night and head back to the tent together, and maybe we can just snooze a little, and maybe we'll go on a nice, fun hike in the morning. Yeah. With flint and steel? No, with my owl talons. That's what I used as flint and steel to start the fire. I used my talons. My talons and steel. That's what it is. Boop, hi, boop, boops. Hello. Are you guys prepared? Did you bring your supplies? Did you spray mosquito spray on yourself? Because there are gonna be a lot of mosquitoes here, and like we learned from yesterday's stream, we do not want to be contracting disease from mosquitoes. So please make sure to wear your bug spray and the appropriate clothing. Don't be like me. Please cover up all of your skin. Don't be like me. I'm just very lazy. I wear my pajamas wherever I go, even to the campsite. But I really should be wearing some more clothing so that the mosquitoes don't eat up my abs and my collarbone and all that fancy stuff. But I trust that the mozzies will leave us alone. Exactly. No mozzies during the feet party. When was this a feet party? Yuck. No, this is a hoot party because we're gonna have a grand old hootin' time. It's okay, I'll move to Canada if I get infected. They can protect me. Canada is just immune to every disease in this planet. Seriously. I had a dream about it last night. I was like, maybe Canada is just too powerful for this world. That's maybe that's where we all have to move to right now. Yeah. But for tonight, I do have a couple things planned. I really want to make some s'mores with y'all, so I have my s'mores ingredients right next to me, and I'll bring that out in a little bit. I also really want to read some campfire creepypastas, so I have a couple pulled up, maybe one or two we would read. It takes about maybe like 20 to 30 minutes to read each one, but other than that, we'll just have some chill chats. And then maybe I'll show you guys what I brought to show and tell. Did I remind you guys that tonight is also show and tell? Because I have a lot of stuff that I kind of stuffed in my car that I realized was in the back of my trunk, just collecting dust, and I brought it over to the campsite. Yeah, a lot of merchandise that I didn't know that I had, just stuck in the back of my car. And I didn't realize when I drove all the way to the campsite that I actually had a bunch of things in the back of my trunk. So maybe I can show you guys some of that too after we make some s'mores. Right, I'm very dedicated to show and tell. I will bring my whole closet to you guys in the middle of nowhere. Plus, isn't it great to just experience nature and, breathe the fresh air, although the pollen this season is exceptionally strong and exceptionally potent. Mama Athie and I are currently suffering from the pollen. You can physically see the pollen when you walk outside. It is bizarre. Whenever we open our door, our front door, we can just see a whole pile of these yellowed spots on the ground. And even on our car, you can see on like the wind on the windshield wipers area, there's just so much pollen. But also because the area where I live has a lot of trees with a lot of flowers. Notably, right outside my room, actually, there's a beautiful, I don't want to say cherry blossom, it looks like a cherry blossom tree. It is so pretty. It is this beautiful shade of pink that actually matches my room. So if you look at my room right now, or if you look at my room back at home, it's like the perfect backdrop to my pink room design, because I have this beautiful pink tree that sits right outside my window. But that beautiful pink tree also just spits out so much pollen to the point that I cannot breathe. Mama Abby and I are suffering from this pollen season, and no amount of Benadryl or Zyrtec can help. And I think that's also another reason why I got really sick, because the pollen decided to just poop out of the trees, and now I feel really poopy because of the stupid poopy pollen. Right into the window, right into my house. So yeah, pollen is just, if you think about it, pollen is just flower poop. So we need to stop pooping so much this season. Yeah, it's not even poop anymore. It's like straight up diarrhea. They need to stop doing their business all over in front of my house, and then just leave us alone. Just let my nose heal for once, and let my throat heal for once. I want to be able to breathe for the first time in this spring, please. Thank you. A lot of factors are working against you. I know. Well, I stocked up on allergy medication, so if you guys start to feel like your nose is itching or your eyes are watering, then I have some Benadryl, Zyrtec, Allegra. I also have Claritin. I also have Zysol. I have all of the greatest allergy meds that you may need. So if you forgot to bring it, don't worry. I also have an EpiPen for those of you who may be allergic to whatever in this wilderness. Maybe a bee will sting you. I don't know. Are you allergic to bees? I don't know anyone who's allergic to bees, but I hope I'm not allergic to bees. I've never been stung by a bee, so I don't know if I'm allergic to bees. So I brought this EpiPen just in case. Yeah. But, you know, it's great to not be allergic to anything, because I know some people who are literally allergic to everything under the sun, and I feel so bad, because how can you cut off all of those wonderful foods from your diet? How can you cut off dairy? How do you cut off nuts? I love nuts. I'm a big nut fan. Like, I always have almonds, walnuts, pecans, pistachios, and cashews ready and available in my house. And recently I've been getting into sprouted nuts. It is a very interesting, healthier way of consuming nuts. And you may have seen them in the grocery store. They're just like fancier versions of nuts. They're a little more expensive, but they're actually healthier and more nutritious. And let me explain to you what sprouted nuts are. They actually taste so much better. So especially for almonds, I love to purchase sprouted almonds, because they're usually in the store. You'll see two different types. It's the raw almonds or the roasted or the oven roasted almonds. I don't like raw almonds personally. I don't like the taste of them. I don't like the texture of them. They're not crunchy enough for me. But oven roasted almonds are great. They're very crunchy. They have this like nice roasted aroma, a little bit caramelized. It's nice and sweet. But in between that, there is a sprouted almond, which basically is an almond nut or almond seed that has started to germinate. So you'll see the little sprout coming out of the almonds, because when you soak almonds in water, when you actually germinate an almond, it sprouts, because it's a seed. Technically, it's a nut. It's a seed. So you get the almond to that process, and then you dry them. Then you dry the almonds and you eat them. So apparently, if you bring the almond to that stage of germination, it actually unlocks so many minerals and nutrients and stuff inside the almond that are supposed to be good for you. Because raw almonds are more nutritious than oven roasted almonds, because oven roasted almonds kill off all of the nutrients, whereas raw almonds have the nutrients, but they haven't been unlocked yet. They haven't bloomed yet. They haven't germinated yet. So what I'm trying to say here is sprouted almonds are more nutritious and they actually taste so much better. You guys should definitely check out sprouted almonds if you have the chance. They even have sprouted walnuts and they taste really good. Very crunchy, very flavorful. So yeah, I could never be allergic to almonds. I would actually die. I love almonds so much. They're my favorite snack. Yeah, what is your favorite camping snack, by the way? Well, if you guys were on like any random camp trip and you had to bring some sort of snack because, you know, you had to pack light, what is your go-to snack? I know a lot of my friends like to pack GORP. Have you guys ever heard of GORP before? I really love the acronym GORP. I'm gonna see if anybody remembers what GORP is. I always bring a protein bar of some sort, but GORP is the best. Or some sort of trail mix. Right, trail mix. As long as the trail mix doesn't have raisins, then I'm happy with that. Hi, Kay. Hi. Welcome, everybody, to the campsite. I'm so glad y'all made it. We're chatting about our favorite camping snacks right now. What are y'all's favorite camping snacks? Oh, quality jerky is good, too. Ooh, cold Pop-Tarts. That is amazing, Goldfire. I should bring some cold Pop-Tarts, strawberry Pop-Tarts next time. They're definitely full of calories and sugar and energy. Never been out camping except like years ago, but that wasn't close. But if you did ever go camping, Tachikoma, what would you bring? What would you like to bring? Nothing beats biscuits, but rice cakes are really good too. Ooh, boiled bananas. I've never heard of boiled banana. Well, I've tried boiled bananas, but never heard of anyone bringing boiled bananas to a camping trip. I don't prefer raisins. It's not that I hate raisins. It's just that I don't prefer them being mixed up in my trail mix because I prefer to just have the nuts and the chocolate. Yeah, Swedish fish is your go-to for hiking trips. I love Swedish fish too. Although I'm more of a gummy bear girl. I'm more of a Sour Patch Kid girl. So Sour Patch Kids and Twix are my two favorite American candies. Other than the generic gummy bear. Yeah. So certain bananas where it's so starchy before you cook them. Oh, like plantains, right? I love boiled plantains or like sweet bananas. I know there's like a Filipino dish where you caramelize banana in some sugar, like brown sugar of some sort. And it's so good. So good. I think it's called banana Q or turon or something. I think turon is like if you wrap it inside a spring roll wrapper and then you deep fry it. So if you have the boiled banana plantain and you wrap it in a spring roll and you fry that, it's so good. I'm surprised not a lot of you guys know what GORP is. GORP is the term for good old fashioned raisins and peanuts. I think it's good old raisins and peanuts or something like that. But I always thought that the acronym stood for goldfish crackers, Oreos, raisins, and peanuts. So I was like, that is an awesome mix. If you had goldfish crackers, Oreos, peanuts, and just subtract the raisins, I guess we could substitute R with like Reese's cups or something. Imagine if you had a trail mix of goldfish crackers, Oreos, Reese's candies or Reese's cereal, and peanuts. That would be the best. That's my type of GORP. But it's like an old kind of camping term that a lot of camps use for a trail mix. Yeah. I don't know if this counts as a snack, but I bring cold oats. What are cold oats? Is that like a granola bar of some sort? Or just raw oats or oatmeal? Like, what is that? Sometimes you pack a honey bun. Oh my gosh, I haven't had a honey bun in decades. I only remember honey buns being ridiculously high in calories and so unhealthy for you. But every time I pass by the vending machine, I always think to myself, I wonder if I should try out a honey bun tonight. I wonder what it would taste like. They are so sweet and they are so unhealthy. They have like 100 grams of sugar in them. But if you're hiking somewhere pretty crazy, I think you really do need 100 grams of sugar. Right. You deserve that 100 grams of sugar. For proper food, though, peak meals are the best. I think they give medical personnel, first responders, and veterans. Oh, really? For like camping stuff? That's really interesting. Jordan uses very ripe ones. Oh yeah, the ripe ones are the best because they are nice and mushy. Overnight, so oats soaked overnight in the fridge. Oh, so you bring overnight oats to your camping trip. That's interesting. I love that. Don't they I hope they don't go bad. Yeah. Does anyone remember Nickelodeon magazine? They once had a camping theme issue that claimed corpses were gravel, onions, rocks, and pebbles. Well, actually, as an owl, that doesn't sound too bad. I feel like as an owl, I do eat gravel, onions, rocks, and pebbles. Although I feel like that's more of a Shrek thing too. An ogre thing. Ogres love gorp, gravel, onions, rocks, and pebbles. Yeah, especially Shrek. Shrek loves his onions and his rocks and pebbles every once in a while. But I've been to many camping trips. I actually really, really love camping. When I was in school, I used to be part of an expedition club. And it was like this certification that you could get if you did a bunch of expeditions throughout the year. And you had to plan your own expeditions. You had to record and do research on your expeditions. It was really, really fun. You do it with like a group of friends. And I remember one time I got like a really bad asthma attack or some sort of like breathing episode, and I couldn't breathe up on the mountain for some reason. Like my chest was getting really tight. And so one of the teachers actually carried my backpack all the way down the hill with him, along with his own backpack, just so that I could have a little relief. And I was, so grateful for that moment. So, camping trips are a lot of fun as well because you get to see a lot of different animals. I've seen snakes, I've seen wild boar, I've seen raccoons and possums and, cows. I've seen, what else have I seen in my camping trips? I've seen different types of bugs. I really love looking at spiders. My favorite type of spiders are the banana spiders. The ones that look like they have yellow stripes on the back. I love those banana spiders. They're not harmful at all, actually. And I also love looking out for if I'm in like near a lake or in like the woodsy areas. I love looking out for wolf spiders because they're massive. I always love looking out for like the biggest spider that I could find, or even frogs and snails and slugs. I love looking for these little tiny insects. Except I just don't really like the flying ones. I don't prefer wasps or bees. As much as honeybees are like your friend, right? I just don't like anything that zaps through my face. And I don't know if they're poisonous or not. Mosquitoes, I hate. Flying ants, I hate. Flying cockroaches, I hate. Bees, I hate. Like anything that flies that is not a bird or a butterfly, I hate. So, fireflies are a little different because I feel like you can't really see them as well because they're so small. Like, I'm fine with gnats, I'm fine with flies. Like, shoot, I don't care about horseflies either. They're massive, but I don't care about them. But if it's like a bee or a wasp or something, I'm not, I'm not about to be in there. I have PTSD from bee encounters, so I think when I was a kid, whenever I went camping, and I went camping a lot as a kid, I would always have some sort of scary experience with a bee or a wasp. Like, they would always fly on me in some way, on my face, on my hand. They would like think I was a flower of some sort. I don't know why. Maybe it's because my sweat smells nice. I don't know if I'm attractive to insects in some way. But I feel like the mosquitoes loved me. The bees loved me. Thank God a wasp hasn't gone on me yet, or else I would actually rather be dead. I would actually rather somebody like just drown me in the lake, because I do not want a wasp on me ever in my life. No. Hi, Tired Papa, how are you? I hope you're having a lovely evening or a lovely morning wherever you are. I think it's morning for you. The bugs have good taste. All of the animals are attracted to me, guys. I love fireflies though, and in my area right outside my apartment, we get fireflies in the summer, which is why I'm so excited for the summertime, because it is the most beautiful scene when I just go out on my evening walk and the sun is setting and it's dusk, and all of a sudden you see these beautiful sparks of light just pop out of the grass and under the trees as well. And it makes you want to cry, because it reminds me of the grave of the fireflies a little bit. Yeah. Praying mantises are fine. They fly, but I actually really love praying mantises. They have a really interesting shape. I love their faces. It's like they have a really small face and a really long body. Just, it looks freaky, but I love it. I do love it. Yeah, so fireflies I'm fine. Praying mantises I'm fine. Oof. I had a nightmare that I accidentally swallowed a bee. Is that weird? I think one of my biggest fears is that I would swallow a bee one day. The bee would just fly into my mouth and I will swallow it some way. Just very unlikely, but I still think about it sometimes. Athi smells like nectar, confirmed. Mayhaps. I just personally wish that my sweat was a natural insect repellent, because I really do not like insects coming near me, and I don't like spraying bug spray on myself all the time. You've been stung by wasps, Guy? Oh my gosh, how does that feel? I've never been stung by a bee in my life. Never. I've been bitten by a million mosquitoes, but yeah. Saystone has not seen fireflies before. They are the most beautiful sight. And I feel like it would be like the most romantic day. I think like the perfect date for me would be if someone brought me out to like a beautiful, I don't know, like a cove area, or just even a marsh area, or a tree, or a field. If they brought me to a field of fireflies, like, and proposed to me right there, I would literally say yes. That'd be my dream. Getting proposed in a field of fireflies, oh my god, that'd be so romantic. Wouldn't it be so romantic, guys? Don't you agree? Yeah. Tachikoma says, I was stung more by wasps than they were. Oh my gosh, that's awful. I heard that wasp stings are so painful. I heard that they hurt way more than bee stings, and that they can actually be fatal. Are fireflies a southern thing? No, they have fireflies all over. You know. Noted a field of fireflies. Yeah, so take notes, a future prospective husband, if you were out there somewhere. Though I highly doubt it, because I don't think I'm gonna be married anytime soon. I keep some patches of long grass in my yard for fantasies to grow in. Oh, that's so sweet. And I love ladybugs too. All the little crawly creatures. Yeah. Hear that, Slendy? I know. Come out of your hiding place, Slendy. Come propose to me right here. Bring out some fireflies. I know fireflies are your best friends. For me, it's a beach walk under the night sky. Yeah, I do love the beach, though it can get a little chilly and windy. I think a beach proposal would be nice too, so I wouldn't mind that, but it's not my top choice. For me, the forest has always been my home and has always been my peaceful place, my happy place. So bringing me to some beautiful enchanted forest type area would be a dream. Yeah, I always love those fairy tale type enchanted forest scenarios, like the Sleeping Beauty forest or the Snow White forest. I love those. Or like a field of flowers. I would love to be proposed to in a field of flowers. Although I feel like my pollen allergy would not make the experience very nice. Oh my gosh. No, I just thought about something even better. You know, my favorite flowers are hydrangeas, so it would be awesome to be proposed to in like a field of hydrangeas. Oh my god, I can even think of it right now. It's my dream. So beautiful. So beautiful. Fireflies really are magical. Saison says that they're immune to yellow jacket stings. Oh my goodness. You must have skin of steel. You're crazy. Just feels like a tiny pinch. You're crazy! So yellow jacket stings just feel like mosquito bites for you? You're insane. You are fearless. Good for you. To get fireflies, keep your yard dark and don't rake leaves. The fireflies lay their eggs on the leaves. Exactly, that's why they always show up under trees, because the leaves fall down and they love to be right under them. Yeah. Go run to each other's arms in the ocean water like Violet. I'm gonna stop it, Turd! I'm gonna cry if you think about that. Although it is a little bit like concerning when you think about it. I love Violet Evergarden. Don't like, you know, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but it's a great show, but it's a little bit questionable with the age difference between her and the sergeant. So you know, don't take it from me. What I'm saying, but it's a great show. But it's when you think about the fact that she's like 14 years old, yeah. Well, a little problematic there. I mean, I'd like to think that she's a little older in my head. Yeah. I like to think a different way. Where do I have to go to see fireflies? I don't know. Where do you live, Saystone? What country do you live in, if you don't mind me asking? I'm pretty sure fireflies are all over, right? I've seen them in tropical areas. I live in like the eastern area, eastern coast of the United States, so I don't know. Makes a difference. The darker the area at night, the better. But no, the fireflies where I am come out at dusk. They come out when the sun is setting, actually. And they don't seem to like to come out when it's dark. They like to come out at a certain time, which is when the sun is almost about to set, when there's just the smallest amount of light left. And it's the most beautiful thing. Okay, you guys agree that the Violet Evergarden relationship is very concerning. Okay, good. I thought it was just me. I love the show, though. I love it. It's beautiful. But maybe their relationship could be something that is maybe more to the times. Let's just say it is because it is in the past, and people probably got married at 14 in the past. You live in northwestern USA? Wait a minute, I'm pretty sure they have fireflies in the Northwest, like Seattle area. Or Pacific Northwest is the most beautiful area. The western coast of North America has one of the most diverse nature and fauna and flora. They just have the most diverse kind of like species of everything. And it's very, very beautiful. My dream has always been to go on a road trip up the Pacific Northwest and then end up in Vancouver or some place up in Canada, because the scenery there is just so beautiful. And I'm sure there are fireflies there. I'm pretty sure there are. You don't have them there? Wait. Aw. Maybe if you Google fireflies in my area, they'll pop up. I want to find some single fireflies in my area. Some hot fireflies. Some hot single fireflies in my area. Go look them up. They're related to cockroaches? Oh no, please don't ruin my immersion, guy. I was talking so many great things about fireflies. I was talking so good about fireflies, and now you're telling me they're related to cockroaches, and it's gonna turn my perspective on them. It's gonna change my perspective on the fireflies, because the other night at work, guys, there was a literal cockroach sitting on the nurse's station, and it was so scary. I have killed so many cockroaches at work. You will not believe how many cockroaches I've killed at work. And my coworkers are all 10 times more scared than I am. So I'm the only one that has at least a little ounce of courage to approach it and actually try to kill it. I've had instances where I was talking to a patient and then all of a sudden my patient's like, there's a cockroach literally crawling up the wall right behind you. And I turn around and there's a massive, what we call water bug, right behind me. And then one time, we saw a cockroach crawling towards a patient's room, and this patient was about to be seen by the surgery team, and it crawled under the door as it was closed, and then the two surgeons looked at me and they were like, did you know that a cockroach literally just crawled into that patient's room? And I was like, yeah. Oh, let's just hope that the patient doesn't notice that the cockroach went into their room. So me and my coworker went into the room and pretended that we were just looking for something. Little did they know we were looking for a giant ass cockroach. And we could not find the cockroach. It was somewhere hiding in the corner. I don't know. Or maybe it went into the vents. I don't know. And so we were like, okay, let's just hope that they never figure out that the cockroach went in there. Much to the surgeon's dismay, they reluctantly walked into the room knowing that there was a cockroach in there, but they had to do their work, which was to sign consent for the surgery that this kid was about to have that day. And I remember they just stood out there like, is the cockroach still in there? And I'm like, no, I think it ran away. So that appeased them a little bit, but I think they were just thinking about maybe not going into the room. Do sugar traps work on roaches? I don't know. Never tried to catch one before, but I remember my coworker and I were trying to catch a cockroach just crawling around the floor. And it sucks because it's dark as well. When I work at night shifts, the lights are mostly off. So it's really hard to see them in the dark and we have to turn the lights on. And this one time, my strategy to kill the cockroach is to just drape a towel or some sort of chuck over it. And usually it won't be able to like climb out. It kind of paralyzes it. And then stomp my feet on every single corner of that towel and just pray that one of those stomps will get the cockroach in some shape or form and that it will be dead by the time I pick up the towel. That was a big mistake because I have learned that cockroaches can survive even this harshest of stomps, and they can be squished to oblivion, yet somehow still pop up and come back to life and start running again. Because I swear to God, we jumped on that towel 3 times. Like 2 of us jumped on that towel like 3 times. And every single time we went to pick up the stupid towel, this cockroach just wouldn't die. It just kept moving. It kept running. And we're like, how is this cockroach not dead? Is this an immortal cockroach? So eventually, what did I do? What did I do in the end? I think did I actually like grab something and squish it? Yeah, I probably just splatted it with my shoe. I think I just stepped on it with my shoe in the end. So never try to step on a cockroach with a towel because I don't think it'll actually die. Yeah. Hope it's not the flying one. Oh, it is the flying ones. We have flying cockroaches in our hospital. And I think this month I've seen about 2 already. So I don't know how the FDA or what, not the FDA, the CDC has not shut down my hospital yet because we have so many cockroaches. And I told my manager, I was like, manager, there was a giant cockroach at the nurse's station this morning. I said water bug. There was a water bug. And she was like, cockroach or water bug? And I was like, I don't know what you guys call it, cockroach, water bug, same thing. She was like, yeah, we're going to get them now because it is the summer. It's getting warm. They like to come out. They like to swim through the toilets and the sinks. And I'm like, what? Wait, what? They're swimming from the toilet bowls? Like, that's where they're coming from? And she's like, yeah, they're water bugs. They swim in water. And I'm like, so not only can they fly, but they can swim in water too? Like, hello? Can we just burn down the hospital now? Can we just burn this hospital to the ground? Let's just burn it to the ground at this point. Like, we don't need this hospital anymore. No. This is probably why I got sick. There's cockroach dander. I'm allergic to cockroach dander, maybe. I don't know. You know, as a nurse, we not only have to save our patients' lives, but we're also, you know, therapists, educators, caretakers, and then also we're engineers, carpenters, and then we're also, you know, somehow we're also the pest control. We're also pest control. Because there's no one in the hospital who will come and kill the bug for us. At night, at least. In the morning, maybe, yes. I just, you know, I think my new strategy is to just keep a can of Raid in my locker. Because I know if this is going to be a common occurrence in the next few months, I would prefer to just keep a can of Raid in my locker. And pray. Exactly. Other nurses performing underappreciated nursing duties at the one-man army music. You know, my coworkers are so scared. They just run. They just get out of the unit. As soon as they see the cockroach, they're like, you deal with it, Athy. We're out of here. And don't call us back until you've killed that mother hooter. And yes, I have killed many mother hooting cockroaches in my life. Although now I feel like I'm gonna get karma from killing them all. A life is a life after all. But there are certain lives that are valued less than others. Notably the roach. We don't need roaches. You know what we need? We should just buy a spider. Why don't we just purchase a spider for the unit? And make that spider eat all the roaches. We should just have one of those pest control spiders. Those cute little hunting spiders. They're little spidey boys. Little spidey boys. They're so cute with the little eyeballs. Little spidey boys. Wait, little spidey boy. What are they called? The huntsman spider? Oh, the spidey huntsman spidey. Yeah, let's I want to get one of these boys, and they eat the cockroaches. Wait, that's not a cute picture of him. Let's see. This one's a better one. This is more of the one that I saw in Japan. There are a lot of huntsman spiders in Japan, and this looks exactly like the one that was in our Airbnb. But yes, I want to buy one of these guys and just set them loose. They're so cool. What would I name him? I want to call him Hunty. Hunty the huntsman spider. Hunty! Hunty could... Oh, no, wait, that kind of sounds a little weird, but... Hunty! Or Hun Hun. I'm gonna call him Hun Hun. Fun fact, 30 of the 4,600 cockroach species are considered pests. The rest can be found in more exotic locations like forests and even deserts. Yes, so those 30 of the 4,600 cockroach species can just be eradicated from this earth. God needs to smite them, and God needs to smite mosquitoes as well. Thank you. Please, God. I pray every day that he smites the mosquitoes. The mosquitoes. Yeah, he just chills around and kills bugs as the pet of the unit. He's gonna get so fat because we have so many cockroaches in the hospital. Yeah. A peed spider! Or like a giant tarantula. Yeah, maybe we can get multiple spiders. We'll get a huntsman spider. We'll get a tarantula. And yeah, like a lucas. But I think a lucas is too small because the jumping spiders are too small. I don't think they can eat the cockroaches. I think the cockroaches actually eat them because they're too tiny. Yeah. Remember, Raid is mainly for shunting and then going in with the shoe. Okay. Well, I'm gonna buy a specific shoe for killing cockroaches. Is there a specific shoe or device online that you can buy for smacking cockroaches to death? Is there some sort of like baton or something, like some sort of some sort of device. I wouldn't say torture device, but some sort of weapon that you could purchase on the internet to completely obliterate a cockroach. The chancla. I'll just buy a cheap flip-flop off the internet. Those work pretty good, I guess. Right, the power of the chancla, yeah! You could get air guns and fire them. No, I will literally buy a gun just so that I could shoot the cockroach. No, wait guys, this is actually so funny. So the other day, the same night when we found the cockroach at the nurse's station, my coworker who was she was like about to pass out after seeing that cockroach. She was so terrified, way more terrified than I was, to the point that when she saw the cockroach, she just like couldn't move. She's like, Athy. She turned to me because I was sitting right next to her in the nurse's station. She's like, Athy, do you have a gun? And I was like, what? She's like, does anyone here have a gun? Can someone shoot it, please? And I was like, what are you talking about? No one here has a gun. She's like, somebody please kill it. Somebody please shoot it. And I was like, girl, calm down. Nobody is about to be getting their gun and shooting this. She's like, but please, does anyone have a gun? Please save me. She was serious about actually trying to find someone with a gun. Oh, in fact, there was a security guard on our unit because we still had that patient who was on security watch as well. So when the security guard like came into the unit, she was like, do you guys have a gun? And when the security guard walked in, she's like, do you guys have a gun? And I was like, I don't think they have guns. And he was like, no. And he was like, if you guys have a gun, can you help us, please? And he was like, are you guys okay? She was like, yeah, we have a cockroach at the nurse's station. I need you guys to shoot it. No, I kid you not. This was a conversation that went down at 5 a.m. when this stupid cockroach was just found roaming around on our computer desks. And it was so funny because it started at the clerk's desk and the clerk saw it and she was like, oh my god, if someone was like sitting there and sleeping, can you imagine the cockroach like crawled up in their face? Sorry, I feel like this spider is triggering a lot of people. Okay, bye, Hunty. We'll see you later. But it started making its way westward and we couldn't find it anymore. It started hiding behind the computers and behind the wires and stuff. So we asked one of our nurse techs who's like a bajillion years old and is not afraid of anything at this point. She came in with a single tissue and she was ready to just grab that massive bug with her hands. And we were calling for her. We were like, please save us, please. And then during huddle that morning, we were like, we would like to thank the nurse tech who saved our lives this morning. And then everybody clapped. She saved us. She saved us from the hands of Big Roach. I know. The nurses have gone a bit hair over Roach. I mean, come on, guys. This is something that you should not be seeing in a hospital. Supposedly the most sterile and clean place in the world, right? I mean, you do so many sterile procedures and yet there's a massive roach right in front of you. There are patients who literally just came out of surgery. There are babies who are just being born. And now there's a roach in front of them? Like, what is that? But although I wouldn't mind eating a roach. And then we had another conversation the following evening about how much would someone have to pay us in order for us to eat a roach? So my coworker asked me, she's like, Athy, would you eat a cockroach for $100 or for $1,000? And I said, no, they have to pay me at least $10,000. I am not eating a cockroach for $1,000, maybe $10,000. She's like, even if it was alive? And I said, okay, no way, that changes it a little bit. No, I'm not eating a live cockroach for $10,000. They would probably have to give me $100,000 for me to eat a live roach. A dead roach, a cooked roach, yeah, I'll eat it for $10,000. A edible roach that is bred specifically for eating, like in certain countries where roaches are delicacies, like crickets, then yeah, sure, I'll eat it for $1,000. If it's a culinary roach, then I will eat it. If it is just a random roach you found off the street that is somehow dead, then you would have to pay me like $100,000 for me to eat it. No, $10,000. If it was still alive, $100,000. So 10 million? Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. You guys have really high standards. I actually wouldn't mind eating a roach for $100,000. I could buy like a pretty nice apartment with that. That'd be my down payment right there. Anyways, it is a wild Satsu story. So bugs, we like them sometimes. That is the moral of the story. Roaches, not so much. Fireflies, yes, fireflies are the best. Fireflies are the best. You would not do it for any amount of money. Even for $1 million? Come on, Phalanx, $1 million. Your whole life would be set. Honestly, I think fried insects go well with chili dips. Oh, you know, I've never eaten an insect, so I would love to try those crickets one day, maybe on stream, because you can buy those what do you call it, roasted crickets or whatever. People like to eat those, and people say it kind of tastes like sunflower seeds. Yeah, nice and crispy, nice and crunchy. Anywho, wow, that was a really fun tangent. But let us get to... Do you guys want to do s'mores first, or do you guys want to do campfire stories first? Actually, you know what? Let's do some s'mores first, because I feel like it would go really well with the campfire stories. So let me bring out my ingredients. You guys ready? 1, 2, 3. Do-do-do-do. Here are my s'more ingredients. All this bug talk made me really hungry, guys. By the way, do you like my water bottle? I got myself an Owala bottle. Look how pretty it is. It's cute. I'm so pink coated. Okay, I also got myself a blowtorch, because we are going to be blowtorching these marshmallows. Although... Oh yeah, okay, sure. Let's do that. And then I have some chocolates right here. Fancy dark chocolates. I know the Owala bottles are so good. They're a little pricey, but you can get them on sale every once in a while. And I love their color drops. They recently had a Disney collaboration, but I didn't know which Disney princess to buy because I wanted to buy every single one of them. So I just bought their Valentine's one. They're always in back order though. Okay, I have these healthy chocolate graham crackers that I always buy. I actually eat them as snacks at work. No added sugar, just dates. It's super, super healthy. It's just made with flour, dates, palm oil, cocoa powder. So with the sugar, it doesn't actually use any added sugars or processed sugars. The best s'mores you ever had were cooked in the engine of a race car? That actually sounds really cool. I'd love to try that. Or cooking an egg on the engine of a race car. Which store? I bought them online. I buy them on a healthy website called Thrive. I'm like bougie like that. I eat a lot of health foods because I have a very I wouldn't say restrictive diet, but I follow a very holistic diet in a way. So I buy stuff from Thrive, which is basically like online Whole Foods. They have a lot of really fancy, healthy, organic, vegan, sugar-free, low, keto stuff on there for a really, really good price. And nurses actually get the first year of the membership free. Yeah. So, if you guys are interested, but these graham crackers are really small, but it's fine because I don't feel like eating a lot anyway. Maybe I'll make 3. Make 3 of them. You have GI problems, so you also eat a specific healthy diet. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the foods in the US use a lot of pesticides and additives to the point that it really disrupts your natural gut flora. So you should be very careful of what you eat, especially if you live in the US. Other countries, I don't know, maybe they have more policies and restrictions on what kind of pesticides to use, but the US is not okay. It's no bueno. A lot of their foods are not so great. That's why all my friends become allergic to everything when they come to the States, even though they were never allergic to anything before in their original countries. So, like my best friend from Japan, when she moved to the States, she all of a sudden became allergic to 1,000,001 things when she used to not be allergic to anything ever. And it's not just her. I've heard stories of people coming to the States and then all of a sudden being allergic to simple things like gluten and nuts and fruit because of the pesticides that they use. You have a strict diet of nurse owls. What are you saying? You eat me? No, I don't want you to eat me. Don't eat me, please. I'm not yummy, guys. I'm actually very salty. Don't eat me. I'm salty. I'm very, very salty. Oh, you cooked ribs on your car engine too? What else could you cook on a car engine? I feel like you could cook everything on a car engine. As long as you keep it clean. Okay, these are actually really cute. I'm really excited for them. You're feeling hungry too. Do you guys have your s'more ingredients as well? You guys ready? Wait, let me bring out the... Oh no, here we go. Never mind. Blowtorch time. I don't really know how I'm gonna do this. Maybe I should blowtorch the marshmallow first. I'm actually kind of scared that I'm gonna burn the paper. And this is a paper plate, so I really hope it does not catch on fire. Well, you'll see it here first. If I burn down my house, then it'll be caught live on stream. Woo! Oh! It's caramelizing! Okay, that's a lot. Ooh! Oh, whoa, 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 okay. Okay. At least do it away from the Cali mat. Oh my god! Oh wait, oh my god, wait. It caught on fire! Okay, wait. Alright, okay. Perfectly. Oh my god. Well, perfectly burnt marshmallow, that's all I can say. Maybe an actual plate? Nah, I'm fine. I'll be okay. Okay. Nice. Very nice. Okay, first one. Oh, wait. Jesus Christ. These things catch on fire really easily. Alright, chocolate time. Woo! First s'more. Ooh, look at that gooiness. I mean, it could be gooey a little more, but I kind of just caramelized the outside. Whatever. Also, these marshmallows that I'm using are vegan marshmallows. Vanilla flavored vegan marshmallows. They're so yummy. I literally could eat these all day. I always just use the microwave for s'mores unless I was outdoors. But I mean, you're not gonna get the authentic burn of the s'more. Okay, itadakimasu. Everybody, take a bite. tastes like s'mores. That's so good. Okay, I feel like we have to do a better job with this one. Maybe if I like circle around it, it won't catch on fire as easily. Oh, here we go, here we go. Oh. It's getting there. I wish I just had like a normal fire or something. Why do I have to use a blowtorch? I want to use this blowtorch. This is too much. This is too hard. I mean, just... Okay. Well, it wouldn't be a s'more if you didn't have at least a bit of carcinogen on it, so... It's that's the whole part of the, like, you know, the feel. You gonna have some burnt marshmallow parts. That's like the best... best part of it. The best part of it. No, seriously. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Wait, hold on a second. Scrunch. Oh, this one's a lot gooier. This marshmallow is a lot gooier. Look, as you can see, it's a little more heated up a little more. Oh, and the chocolate's melting more too. Do you see that? That is just the perfect combination. And I love the size of the graham cracker as well. It's like the perfect sandwich size for a s'more. I think they definitely purposely made it like this on like, you know, so you know you make the s'mores. But here you go, guys. A perfect s'more. You guys see it? Isn't it so delicious looking? Here you go. Oh. Oh, it's so good. Oh my god. That caramelized marshmallow is just so... it just hits different. That's so good. It doesn't taste too burnt as well. It's just like a very slight hint of like roasted marshmallow. Oh my god, it's so good. So yummy. True gold. I'm gonna save this more for later. I kind of want to eat a marshmallow by itself. I kind of want to just blowtorch the marshmallow and eat it by itself. And see how burnt we can or not how burnt we can get it, but like how caramelized I can get it. Don't mind me, I'm just blowtorching a marshmallow on stream. Hoping I don't burn my house down. I could put it on a stick. I do not have a stick. Am I bothered to get a stick? No, I'm not bothered. Y'all get a stick for me. Itadakimasu! Crunchy marshmallow! Yummy! That was crispy. How about chocolate? I'm not bothered to go back outside. I'm so cozy right here with you guys. I'm not going back into the tent. I just want to stay out here and eat my s'mores with y'alls. Good old propane. Okay. What did you all say? I mean, I don't want to go back inside the tent to grab a chopstick. I don't want to move from here. I'm too cozy. My butt is already warm. And it is a very cold evening. And I don't want my butt to get cold. Or else I'm gonna get the butt flu. I don't want my butt to get sick. So, I'm keeping my butt nice and toasty right here with my toasty marshmallows. Imagine cooking a steak with a blowtorch. I'm pretty sure people have done that with Wagyu, where they just grab a blowtorch and they have like thin slices of Wagyu and they just cook it in front of you. You're making me want to swing by a local restaurant for s'mores cheesecake. Oh my gosh, that sounds delightful. I love the combination of s'mores with anything. At Costco, they used to have these s'more snacks where they were basically chocolate-covered marshmallows with graham cracker pieces. And they were the most addictive thing I've ever had, to the point that my family had to stop buying them because we would just go through them so quickly and it was so unhealthy, and I think we all gained so much weight from it. But if we ever come across the little s'more bites again on Costco, it's gonna be so hard for me to resist and not buy them. Yeah. I once heard about someone who tried clearing snow off his porch with a blowtorch. He set his porch on fire. Well, that'll do it. That'll definitely do it. Okay, so you guys ready for some creepypasta readings? I'm gonna put this away and save it for the very end, for our very last s'more. And let's come in a little closer. I'm gonna grab myself a mug of tea. What kind of beverage would you guys like? I can make you guys some tea. What kind of, or coffee? What kind of beverage, or hot chocolate? Oh, I realized that this skin color is not really the same as mine, but that is okay. I have a cup right here. And there we go. You'd prefer some green tea? You want some iced tea? All right, I'll make everybody some nice beverages. A cider would be cool. Hot choco. All right, here you go. There you go. Oh, I never realized you had abs. That goes crazy. You never realized that Athi's actually a strong owl? Do you want to have a closer look? Here, come closer. Take a look. Are you amazed? Oh, you want a beer? Okay, I'll go grab you a beer. Nice abs, thank you. I'd like to say it's one of my strongest traits. I'm very strong, yeah. I like to think I'm strong. But I must know your secret for those abs. I mean, just be shredded, guys. Just be shredded. Just, you know, eat lean meats and don't eat too many s'mores. But enjoy the treats every once in a while. Don't starve yourself. Allow yourself to have a cheat day, or else you'll be just so miserable and depressed. But it's very important that you cut down on your body fat percentage, because I swear everyone in the world has a set of six-pack abs waiting for them. It's just covered in a bunch of flubber that needs to be burnt down. Needs to be blowtorched off. So, but don't actually blowtorch your stomach, okay? What I mean is that you need to blowtorch your abs by doing some crazy workouts, some fire workouts. That's what they are. Your six-pack abs are hidden behind your one-pack flab. I was gonna say your six-pack abs are hidden behind your six-pack flabs. Because you have That's actually kind of concerning if you have 6 flaps. Maybe 2 of them would be your boobies, but still, that's a lot. Eat shredded cheese, got it? Nah, you just gotta you know, do a lot of cardio and make sure you do your regular weightlifting and track your macros and what all those fancy people say. Although I do not calorie count or track macros or proteins and things like that. I don't count my nutritional intake because I feel like it just takes the fun out of eating, and eating just all of a sudden becomes a new chore for me, and I don't want eating to become a chore. I already have so many chores I need to do in my life that are so stressful for me, and adding counting macros to that just makes it more stressful. It'll burn you out eventually. Can't gain weight, to be fair. I just can't eat a lot of food. That too. Or you could just go on Ozempic. That is also the easy way out at this point. That is also just the easy way of losing a lot of weight and getting 6 packs. Just start on some sort of weight loss pill or drug. Yeah, or injection. Although Ozempic kind of scares me, so... Not that I need to be on Ozempic or anything, but it just scares me to know that, you know, people can get a hold of them so easily now, and I don't know what the side effects of them are going to be. And I know a lot of my friends and some of my family members have gotten prescribed Ozempic, so I'm just like really worried about them, and I really hope that they don't get any of the side effects. Yeah, but my friend who told me that she started Ozempic, she didn't start the injections yet, but she just started on the Ozempic pills. She told me that after starting the pills, it was like she had 0 appetite at all, and it was crazy. Like she would eat 2 bites of food and automatically just feel full. And then her stomach would also start hurting a lot, so that was just an issue. It does cause a lot of GI upset, I think, in the beginning, but that's one of the most common side effects of starting on weight loss pills. And she lost like 5 pounds in a week. It was so fast. So definitely it is effective, but to what extent? In the long term, I don't know if it's gonna help. Actually, it might actually make it worse. You don't want to lose muscle either, so you have to make sure you still eat the right food. Which is why it freaks me out a little bit, because I feel like people don't know how to maintain a healthy diet on Ozempic. And they just rely on it too much. Life is too short to worry about habits. If a cheeseburger ends me, then it's just how it was meant to be. That's what I tell people. I'm like, who cares if, like, you know, who cares if you accidentally had 2 cheat days this week? Who cares if you're on a super strict keto diet and you're really craving this milkshake at this moment and all your friends are getting a milkshake too? Then just drink the milkshake. Life's too short. I would bury me with a milkshake. Bury me in a milkshake. Seriously. I'd like to be buried in a milkshake. I feel like I'd be really happy if someone did that. If I was rich and I had a big mansion and I had a big pool in my backyard, I think the first thing I would do is fill it with a strawberry milkshake, and then I would swim in it, and then I would drink it, and then I would probably throw up. But I wouldn't ever get sick of strawberry milkshake. I'd probably have to take like a whole box of lactate. I realized that I actually might be a little lactose intolerant because I noticed that I get a little bit of the pooty poots after I have a lot of dairy, and the pooty poots are not very fun. So I bought myself some lactate to see if that helps with the hooty hoots. I get a little hooty. I get a little hooty when I drink a little too much dairy or consume a little too much dairy. So I need to get rid of the hoot hoots. Strawberry milkshakes bring all the boys to the yard? No, they bring the owls to the yard. Specifically this owl, because strawberry milkshakes are my favorite. Can I take a sip too a little after? Should I make that a business now? So instead of Gamer Girl or VTuber bathwater, it's Gamer Girl VTuber strawberry milkshake water. strawberry milkshake bath juice shake? What? What? Strawberry milkshake with a touch of VTuber essence. Imagine if a fast food restaurant in Japan created it's so innovative. No, what if they did a collaboration with like a VTuber company and they were like, this drink has essence of your favorite anime character or VTuber character or whatever. Drink this juice or drink this tea or drink this shake to experience the essence of your favorite idol, of your Oshi. Can you imagine? And you know how we were discussing that I probably smell naturally very sweet because all of the bugs like to eat me up. So maybe, try to decipher what your favorite, I'm pretty sure you guys have thought about, what your favorite VTuber smells like. What does your favorite VTuber... Now this is gonna get a little weird. What does your favorite VTuber taste like? Right? So I don't know if you guys ever thought about that. Like, oh, what does my favorite VTuber character smell or taste like? Well, now you can put that into like physical form and put that into a drink. Now, maybe they taste like a fruit. Maybe they taste like coffee. Maybe they taste like exactly like salted caramel or salty. I guess I taste more like a Pocari Sweat or Gatorade. My Oshi tastes like an owl. I don't even know what that tastes like. But well, I've already said I have a diet of nurse owls. Okay, fine. You predicted this whole thing. You predicted this whole shebang. Meow, wolf, woof. Maybe else agreeing with me the whole milkshake thing. Fishy shark fin. I think I'll pass. Oh no. I mean, shark's fin might taste good in a milkshake. Would you ever eat a shark's fin soup? Imagine if a shark VTuber, not naming any names, collaborated with a shark fin soup company. Wouldn't that just be awful? Because first of all, fishing for sharks is really bad and finning sharks is really bad. So please don't ever consume real shark fin. You can consume mock shark fin, which I have consumed several times in the past, but real shark fin, please don't. It is very unethical. Owl probably tastes like chicken. Oh no, I don't want to taste like chicken or else so many people will want to eat me. I don't want to be a crispy fried owl. I don't want to be a crispy fried owl. Don't fry me. No. Back in the 80s, Marvel Comics did a collab with Kiss where they published a comic book with Gene Simmons' blood mixed in... Ew! Interesting. But... what if you sold... what if you sold... I guess if you could sell perfume of your favorite anime character, or like, not anime character, but VTuber character. And I'm sure there's a device that can extract like someone's scent or someone's like pheromones, right? So I feel like somebody needs to tap into like the pheromone business. If you could sell your idol's scent for real, like create a machine that could somehow extract somebody's scent or pheromones from their sweat or just from, I don't know, like their skin or something, or their blood, not their blood, but I don't know, their sweat most likely, right? And then somehow decipher like the smell profile from somebody's sweat and not use their exact sweat per se, but create a flavor profile or create a scent profile, and it would print out like the ingredients for like a scent of someone, specifically someone. I feel like you could make so much money from it because, for example, What about people who have lost their significant others? What about people who have lost their spouses or family members, and they really, or even like pets, and they really miss the smell of like a certain person or a certain pet or a certain object or thing, right? Imagine if you had the ability to recreate that smell and somehow preserve it and put it in like, I don't know, like a scent bottle or a perfume or something where somebody could smell it and like have memories of that person or that situation of that thing. And I feel like it could be a very wholesome thing too. You know, you've seen Black Mirror. That's not the path you want to tread. Okay. There was a Totally Spies episode that did that. What? They were so ahead of the times. Seen the film Perfume? I am not. Actually, is it weird? Is it whack? Is my idea a little weird? It wouldn't fly, would it? Probably wouldn't fly in North America. I don't know. It probably wouldn't fly in a lot of places. It was actually in the 70s, and oh my goodness. Okay, so while you know a lot of you could get away with a lot of things in the 70s, guys. You could get away with a lot. So I mean, you could get away with murder in the 70s. Heck, I probably could have gotten away with murder in the 70s. I was born in the wrong time. Perfume is a slasher thriller about a guy that made perfumes out of women. Oh, that's okay. No, maybe not like that. No. Ethical scenting. Ethical scent extraction. We'll find a way to make it ethical. You were born too late. Yeah, no, I should have been born in the 70s. No. Then I would have wrecked carnage throughout the world. You should have seen me. I would be the biggest hooter slasher in the world. I'll be known as the owl slasher because I'll be murdering up all of the gummy bears. I could get away with murder in a convenience store at the candy section, specifically with the gummy bears. They'd all be dead. No one would know because I would kidnap all of them and bring them back in my room. I would open them up, each and every single one of them individually, one by one. Take them out, lie them very, very carefully on the table, and cut small pieces out of them, slowly, bit by bit, piece by piece, and just consume them. The gummies. The wonderful, wonderful gummies. Hooter Slash, that'd be a good movie name. Hey, I copyrighted it right here, so no one take it. I'm gonna patent that. There were some women who believe that they were meant to be born in Victorian England. It's like, no. Right, there were some people who were like, I wish I was born in the Victorian era. And I was like, no, you really don't wish you were born in the Victorian era. There were a lot of very painful things that were happening to women back in the day, both emotionally and physically. So let us move on. Actually, I want to start reading this creepypasta. I need to find my flashlight, so let me see if I can find it. Flashlight. Here we go. Let me somehow try and add this flashlight to the scene. Just give me just one second here. No, add a layer. Add another layer. We're gonna go find the flashlight. Orange flashlight. Okay. Ooh, it's big. There we go. Moving this here. And then I need to import this as well. This will be in front. And this will be like maybe behind, actually. There we go. Oh, Does it look scary now? Can we get into like a more of like a scary vibe? Let me see what other effects I can do to make it look scary. Where's the glow effect? Oh, the TV effect. Oh, now it's getting really scary. Hold up. Oh, VHS mode. Nice. All right, now things are getting a little scary, y'all. Found footage. You ready? You guys ready for some creepypasta stories? You loved these when you were a kid? Okay. Do you guys want BGM or do you guys want no BGM? Because I could also find like creepy BGM. Royalty free BGM. Scary and... What is this? I'm gonna type in royalty free creepy BGM. Horror BGM. But I need to find one that's like really long. I need to find one that's like an hour long. Okay, 1 hour of royalty-free horror music. What's this? Oh. Okay. Okay. Are you guys ready? Which one? Let's see. Which one should we do first? Okay, I'll do the shorter one first. This creepypasta is called Campfire. Since we are in the camping site. Okay. Campfire, written by Daniel Martins. The drive out took a few hours. As I pulled off the main highway and onto the branching road, I was stuck with the sense that I was going to be very alone out here. I am an avid hiker, but since many of the hiking trails I'd normally frequent had become almost crowded as of late, for this trip I'd settled on a trail I'd vaguely heard of, but knew next to nothing about. It led up towards some serious wild territory, with nothing around for hundreds of miles. The land was technically part of one of the nearby national parks, but was only barely mentioned on the park's website. I suspected this was because it was much further out than the regularly visited trails, only accessible from a branching road that pretty much led nowhere. My plan was to head into the wilderness and camp out overnight under the stars. I live in a desert state, and I figured there'd be some stunning views of the constellations in the cloudless sky at night, especially since it was forecast to be a moonless night. I'd already walked the popular day trails in the area, so I was looking for something a bit further afield. The plan was to camp out under the stars and head back in the morning. The deserted road suggested I was right in thinking that nobody came this far out. It should be a good chance to relax and get away from it all. Eventually, I reached my destination and pulled off the asphalt of the road and into the gravel of the parking lot area. tires crunching as I slowed to a stop off to one side. Parking lot would have been too generous a title. It was really just an unsealed area next to the highway with a signpost announcing the entrance to National Park territory. The area was almost empty. Only a single other car parked up. I got out and stretched, looking around and spotting the low sign that marked the trailhead. As I did, I took a second glance at the other parked car. It looked like it'd been there for an age. All 4 tires were flat, although they didn't look to be punctured. Every surface was dusty. I looked back at my car, which was lightly coated from the drive-in, but this was well and truly caked on. There were no broken windows, and it didn't look like it had been stolen or dumped. It didn't look damaged at all. Must have been there for a while, I thought to myself, wondering why no one from the Park Service had had it towed by now. I made a mental note to call them when I got home. I opened the door to my back seat and got out my pack, hat, and rifle. I thought hard about whether to bring the rifle. It was extra weight after all, and odds were I wouldn't need it, but last time I'd been out hiking overnight, I had a far too close encounter with a coyote that left me wishing I had something more than rocks to protect myself with. I figured since it was only a small .22 caliber, it wouldn't be too heavy, and I'd packed it into a light soft case that fit alongside my pack. I reached into my pack for my sunscreen and slathered some on my arms and neck before turning off my phone. I'd called my sister before I left town to let her know my plans, and stowing it and my keys away, shouldering my things and setting up off the trail. I'd gone no more than a couple of 100 yards when I slowed to a stop, nose in the air. There was the slightest breeze, but with it came the hint of something behind it. I winced as the warm air hit my face, because the smell it wafted towards me was terrible. "Smells like something died," I muttered to myself. The breeze died down and the smell went with it. "Ugh," I said, setting off again and picking up the pace. I couldn't see any buzzards around, but if there was something dead nearby, I didn't want to be anywhere near it if the wind kicked up again. The hike in was uneventful. I won't bore you with all the details, but it was great terrain, a clear and easy trail through the desert shrubland, and some hours in, I was breathing hard as I reached a slightly hillier bit of the trail. I came to the top of the rise and saw that the terrain flattened out ahead into a wide plateau. Looking at the sun, I saw it was mid-afternoon, and decided this was as good a place as any to set up camp for the night. I walked another few minutes before stepping off the trail, spotting a nice flat bit of land where the brush had been cleared away. There were the remnants of a campfire in the center, just a few bits of charcoal and some scorched ground. I nodded to myself, taking off my pack and rifle case and placing them on the ground near the old campfire. I spent over an hour bringing in firewood and another half-hour breaking it all up into manageable pieces. There was plenty around, lots of low, dead bushes and shrubs around the place. I wanted enough wood for the fire to last easily throughout the night. The sun was just starting to go down, and it was beginning to get a little chilly. I stood back and looked at my wood pile. It was quite impressive, and probably way more than I'd actually needed. Better safe than sorry, I shrugged to myself. The last rays of daylight were peeking over the horizon as I lit the fire, building it up until it was crackling away merrily. I ate a couple of power bars I'd packed as a cold dinner, swigged away some water, and sat on the ground looking up at the stars coming up, feeling very peaceful. That feeling didn't last very long. I heard the wind pick up before I felt it. It whistled between the rocks and shrubs, seeming to whirl around, passing me and then doubling back before arriving. It brought a warmth with it that was odd for the desert at night. That wasn't the only thing it brought, though. I sniffed as the breeze kicked up the flames in my little campfire and screwed up my face. That stench I'd smelled earlier came with it, hot and rotten, like roadkill baking under the sun. I gagged and tried to hold my dinner down. The campfire flared up as the wind hit it, throwing sparks in the air. I watched as they floated into the sky, bright orange spots against the black, almost blending in with the stars. As they burned themselves out, the wind died down, the flames it had kicked up lessening as well. The stench had died back down as well. It was still there in the background, but not being blown in my face anymore. Once the light from the flare-up had dimmed, everything seemed a lot darker. I looked around and shivered involuntarily, realizing just how dark it suddenly was. I looked up at the sky and wish I hadn't chosen a moonless night for my hike, looked back towards the fire, and then stopped dead. Something was wrong. I blinked hard and looked up again at the sky. The stars were gone. 1 second they'd been there, and the next they just weren't there anymore. As if the wind had blown them out like they were candles. There was nothing overhead, just the sudden blackness all around, seeming to press in against dome of light that my little campfire was throwing out. "The hell?" I exclaimed, looking about me. The air hadn't changed temperature. It was still cool, but not cold. But an icy sense of unease was settling over me. I shivered again and tossed a couple of branches on the fire, then drew my jacket closed and zipped it up. Where before I'd been able to faintly see the outline of the scattered shrubs and boulders by the faint starlight, now I couldn't see a thing. There was no horizon anymore. The sudden black sky blended in completely with where I knew the mountains in the distance were, and I couldn't see anything in the darkness that was pressing in around me. I grabbed my pack and pulled out my phone, turning it on and quickly navigating to the flashlight app. The phone's flash lit up, and a cast of harsh light on the ground, and cast a harsh light on the ground, and then flickered and died, the phone turning itself off again. I pressed the power button again, but the screen stayed stubbornly black. Shit, I thought to myself, reaching back into my pack for my keys. I found the pen light on my keyring and turned that on, which also immediately flickered and turned off. I whacked it a couple of times to no avail, for giving up in disgust and stowing my keys and phone back into my backpack. I looked around me, shivering with unease again. It was very dark, and I couldn't see more than 20 feet on either side of the fire. It was almost as if the light was being forced back in on itself. I couldn't hear anything other than the crackle of the campfire. The whistling of the wind had stopped. That god-awful smell was still in the background, though, like there was something dead nearby, and... What the hell was that? I heard a noise, like someone clearing their throat. A thick, wet... My stomach dropped, my breath catching in my throat for a second. I wasn't alone out here. Looking in the direction the noise had come from, I saw a small flash in the darkness, and then another. A tingle ran up the back of my neck as I realized there was something out there, sitting just outside of the reach of the light from the campfire, watching me. My sister had a little dog, and I remember staying with her once and looking at me from a dark room down the hall while I was in the brightly lit lounge. I couldn't see it at all, but I knew it was there from the way the light bounced off its eyes. Dim, yellowy pinpricks in the darkness, about a foot off the ground. What I saw was like that. Only instead of the eyes in the dark being knee-height like my sister's dog, these were 6 feet off the ground. Too tall to be a coyote, or even a mountain lion, I thought to myself, almost absently, trying to control the fear that was bubbling up inside me. "Yeah, get out of here!" I yelled, standing and waving my arms in the air. It didn't leave. Instead, the eyes came down a couple of feet, like the thing had lowered its head. I slowly moved to the campfire to put the campfire between me and it moved in turn. I kept moving around the fire, and it kept moving too. I stopped and stared at it. And it stopped and stared right back. something else was strange. My feet had crunched the gravel as I turned to face it as it circled, but it made no sound at all as it moved. The darkness hid all but the barest outline, and even that was fuzzy at best. Apart from what I assumed were eyes, all I could see was a slightly darker spot in the blackness. Crouching, I picked up a rock and chucked it in the direction of the eye flashes. My rock sailed through the air and I lost sight of it in the darkness, but I'd swear my aim was dead on. It didn't hit anything. I just heard a crunch as the rock fell in the gravel and tumbled away. The flashes in the darkness bobbed up and down slightly. Whatever it wasn't afraid of me, and it seemed to be moving closer. Slowly, very slowly, I reached for the rifle case, unzipping it and taking out my little .22. I pulled the bolt up, and back, and then, and forward and down again, chambering around. As I did, the thing moved again, the eyes coming back and slightly lower as if it was coiling back on itself, like a cat ready to pounce. I moved my thumb to disengage the safety, pulling the stock tightly into my shoulder and aiming for where I guessed the thing's center mass would be, a bit more than a foot below where the glint of the eyes were. "Don't make me use this!" I yelled at it again. "Just go away!" I heard a wet sound, like a growl from a dog crunching food in its mouth, and squeezed the trigger. Crack! The sound from my little rifle seemed deafeningly loud, splitting the quiet of the night like lightning splits the sky. I lowered it slightly, peering over the barrel towards the thing. It hadn't moved at all after coiling back. It stayed right there, ready to pounce, but there was no way I missed it, not at this range. Work the bolt back. I frantically thought to myself, get another round in, re-aim, squeeze the trigger. Crack, work the bolt, aim, squeeze the trigger. Crack, again, crack, again, crack, again. Click. The hammer came down on an empty chamber. My ammunition was spent. I'd only packed a single 5-round magazine and I had nothing to reload with. I hadn't counted on needing any more than that. The thing shifted slightly, growling again as it moved. The flash from its eyes and the firelight disappeared, and I lost sight of its outline. I lowered my rifle with shaking hands, switching my grip to clutch the still warm barrel like a club, ready to swing the stock into whatever that thing was. Thump! Something solid hit me in the back, and I screamed as I spun on the spot, swinging the rifle like a bat. It whooshed through the air, hitting nothing. I took a step back, breathing hard as I saw that familiar glint in the dark, just beyond the border of where the light from the fire showed. It'd gotten behind me in seconds, and I hadn't heard it move at all. But what had hit me if it hadn't come into the light? I looked down, and lying at my feet was a single hiking boot. I glanced back up towards the thing. It hadn't moved. It was just there, watching me. I looked back at the boot, which wasn't in the best shape. The fabric was torn and it was caked in reddish-brown mud. Hang on, I thought, stooping to pick it up. I shifted it closer to the fire for a closer look. Blood. The boot was caked in dried blood. My head swam and a fire tore through my nerves, the back of my neck prickling madly and my skin turning into goose flesh. I found myself on one knee, breathing heavily as I mumbled, "Oh shit, oh shit." I looked back up towards the thing, which still hadn't moved. I stood and screamed at it. "What do you want from me?" It didn't answer. I dropped the boot. I jumped as there was a small pop from one of the branches in the fire, but was suddenly struck by an idea. I moved closer to the fire and spotted a branch that only had one end alight. I pulled it from the blaze and turned to face the thing. It growled again, and I held up the branch, which rose to more of a snarl as I threw it towards it. The blazing stick lit up the night as it tumbled through the air towards the thing, and a horrified thrill ran up my spine as I caught a better glimpse of the outline of it, just for a second before it scuttled away in the light. It was huge. As big as a bear, but without any of the mass. Lean as opposed to bulky. It was dark, so dark that it seemed to flow and blend into the gloom behind it. It had 4 long legs attached to an almost stumpy torso, but it hadn't used all 4 legs when it moved. It used the front ones, or arms, to push itself upright onto the back legs and then danced madly away on those while its whole body and arms jerked from side to side. God, it was so tall, maybe 8 feet high when moving on its back legs, and it never seemed to get fully upright. The things that glinted in the firelight did seem to be its eyes, and the split-second glimpse of its face I caught was enough to make me take a step back in horror. It looked almost human? Human, but deathly wrong. Like if you took a person's face and stretched it forward so it was long, like a horse's head. The mouth though, it wasn't small like a horse's. It stretched all the way back to where the face met the rest of the skull. The mouth was stuffed, full of far too many rotten-looking teeth, stained red in places. I think my legs gave way then. I found myself sitting on the ground, hugging my knees and rocking back and forth. What the hell was that thing, and what did it want from me? The blood-stained boot didn't exactly fill me with hope that it was friendly. I used a shaking hand to grab some more sticks out of the wood pile and feed the campfire. Whatever that thing was, it hadn't come into the light and had moved away when the fire came near it. I gave a silent thanks to whatever urge had made me drag in as much wood as I did. The eyes had stopped moving again, and it seemed like the thing was content for the first time, being just to sit in the dark and stare at me. I stared right back, trying to think of what the hell I was going to do, and we stayed like that for a while, looking at each other. Somewhere, not too far away, a coyote howled. The eyes turned and bobbed up and down slightly in the direction of the howl. Was it sniffing the air? It turned back to face me, and it grunted. Whatever the noise was, it sounded dissatisfied somehow. The thing turned away again, and I saw the barest smudge of an outline moving off into the dark towards the howls. Within seconds, it was gone from sight, and it was faded from view, so did its stench. I sat there, frozen for a moment, but then burst upwards, boots scrabbling for grip on the loose gravel as I came to my feet. I frantically grabbed at my pack and swung it onto one shoulder, stooped to pick up my rifle, and swung it by its strap onto the other shoulder. And then hesitated, torn by indecision. Dare I risk it? I clenched my jaw and tried to swallow down this rising sense of fear. I picked up one foot and took a single step away from the fire, wincing as the gravel crunched underfoot, which seemed deafeningly loud in the silence that was broken only otherwise by the fire. I peered around, muscles tensing with anticipation, but saw no signs of the thing. I took another step. The gravel crunched again. Still no sign of it. I relaxed ever so slightly, took a deep breath, and started briskly walking towards the trail. Once I hit it, I could turn right, and I was confident enough I could follow it back to the parking lot, even in the dark. I'd taken no more than a half-dozen hurried steps when I stopped dead, frozen in place. I could smell it again, the reek bringing the bile up in my throat. Heart racing, I turned my head slightly to the left and saw that glint in the dark. The light from the fire had dimmed as I'd moved away from it, but I was still just close enough for me to see that familiar reflection of the flames in its eyes again. A rumble came out of the darkness. A growl? I slid my front foot backward, slowly moving back towards the fire, never taking my eyes off where it seemed to be in the dark. I reached the fireside and slid my pack and rifle off my shoulders, laying them on the ground and sitting down next to them. As I did, I heard the coyote howl again. The thing seemed to grunt, and then it faded into the darkness as it turned away from me. What the hell was I gonna do? It was like the thing was playing with me, but I wasn't gonna risk making a run for it again. No way did I want it to catch me in the dark. The darkness had seemed to kill my phone and flashlight when it settled in, and any flaming torch from the fire I took would burn out as well before I made it back to the car. I still had my lighter, but there was no way that made enough of a difference to keep it away. The coyote began to howl once again, but the howl cut off quickly, turning into a snarl. I listened closely as the snarls became pained and then desperate yelps, and held my breath as they cut off, replaced by the sounds of something snapping, crunching, and splattering. I breathed deeply, listening as I tried to slow my hammering heart down. Nothing. Once again, all I could hear was the crackling of the fire. I shut my eyes, listening harder, and shrieked as something hit the ground next to me, scrabbling backwards on my butt away from it, waiting for it to leap up and grab me. I'd gotten a few yards away when I stopped scrabbling and just sat there, hyperventilating, staring at the ruined pile of gray fur and red gore that lay in front of me. It was the coyote, or what was left of the coyote. It was a mess. It looked like every bone in its body had been pulverized and its front legs were completely missing, but raggedly missing, like they'd been torn away rather than cleanly cut or bitten off. Worst of all, its head was facing the wrong way, twisted around until it was entirely backwards. Blood seeped from the open mouth, collecting into drops that each hit the dusty gravel with a soft splat. I shuddered and hugged my knees tight, rocking back and forth slightly. This must have been the coyote I heard howl earlier, the one the thing went after. Oh shit, I stood. Where was it now? I circled on the spot, looking out into the dark. There! On the other side of the fire, just beyond the border where the light ended, that familiar reflective yellow double flash, it was still watching me. "Fuck you!" I screamed at it. I strode to the dead coyote, grabbed it by its still warm tail, and swung it around, casting it away from the fire towards the thing. It flumped to the ground, not too far away from where the light ended. The thing didn't move. I fought it. I fought to get my breath. I fought to get my breathing under control, kicking dust over the small patch of blood that had pooled where the coyote lay. I looked at my hands, and they were sticky with blood too. I grabbed my water and rinsed the worst of it off, wiping my hands on my pants to dry them. I heard a grunt and turned to see one long, impossibly thin limb reaching in from the shadow to grab the dead coyote by the tail, slowly dragging it out of the light. It was hard to see any detail. It was almost as if it was radiating the darkness out from itself, but I could see that it seemed to end in a hand. That, again, looked human, but wrong. The fingers were way too long, and they were jointed in way too many places. It looked like someone reaching out with a collection of tarantula legs on one end of a stick. It made a pained sort of sound while it was doing it. Maybe the light hurt it? The coyote disappeared from view, leaving bloody drag marks in the dust, and I heard horrific ripping and squelching sounds. I guess the thing was tearing it apart and eating it. The eating noises eventually stopped, and the thing grunted, but it sounded unsatisfied somehow. It went back to staring at me, whatever this thing was. It wanted me, not just the coyote. I picked up some more branches and built up the fire. I sat down and stared at the reflective eyes in the dark. I didn't know how long I sat like that for. It must have been hours. I built up the fire a couple more times and went back to staring at the thing. It'd grunt or growl every now and again, but then it'd shut up. For the time being, it seemed satisfied just to sit and stare. Eventually, I found my blinks getting longer. Each time it was harder to open my eyes again. God, I was so tired. The adrenaline spike had long since worn off and I felt wiped out. Just a second. I'll just close my eyes for a second, I thought to myself as my head began to nod forward. I jerked bolt upright and wide awake at the thrill that ran up my spine as I heard a wet, throaty from behind me. I'd fallen asleep. The fire had burned down low and was mostly just embers, just emitting a faint glow, just enough for me to see that the thing had crept much closer as the light had diminished. I must have dozed off for an hour or more. Leaping to my feet, I grabbed some branches from the pile and hurried them into the remnants of the fire, and then fell to my hands and knees so I could frantically blow into the embers, desperately trying to stir them back into life. The light flared up as they caught a light, and I saw it sitting there, way too close, squatted on the haunches like a dog sitting. Long back legs, folded up so what I assumed were knees, were up by the shape of its head, and arms extended down to the ground in front of it, holding its torso upright. The light glinted from its eyes as it shifted its head to stare at me again, and it hissed as it pushed itself backwards, retreating from the light. As I lost sight of it in the darkness, I heard that wet sound again, like a long tongue smacking against lips. I shuddered. I'd gotten a better look at its eyes in the light this time. They were filled with hunger and pain, but there was an intelligence there. Human eyes, not entirely those of a human. It went back to looking at me, only this time it wasn't silent. It kept growling and grunting, and the noises it was making grew in volume and frequency. It almost sounded desperate. It circled the fire, eyes disappearing from view, and then reappearing elsewhere where it growled from the dark. But it never came into the firelight. I didn't say anything. I just fed the fire and hoped that my stock of firewood would hold it out a little longer. I brought a lot in, but it was diminishing by this point. Then, finally, the thing made a noise I hadn't heard yet. A hiss higher in pitch than anything else it made. And it looked up into the sky, before staring at me once more. It made a disgusted sort of noise, and then turned away. I heard the wind kick up, and I could smell the thing's stench again. And then all of a sudden, it was just gone. As the thing went, the smell and the suffocating darkness went with it, and I realized I could see clearly around me again. The sky had that deep blue color you see before sunrise, and I could see a few pinpricks of light that could only have been stars. It got progressively lighter and lighter until, there, the sun peeked up over the horizon, and I'd never been as happy to see the light of day as I was now. I waited another hour and a half until the sun was well into the sky and things were starting to heat up before I dared to make a move. I picked up my things and got the hell out of there, shuddering as I passed the remnants of the coyote, just a bloody patch of gray fur and shattered bones. I jogged the whole time, never pausing, never stopping, and never looking behind me. Every time I slowed, I'd hear the wind whistle again, and I'd catch a whiff of something foul, so I'd pick up the pace again. Hours later, I was just about ready to drop, when there! The start of the trail! I could see down to the car park. Without stopping my jog, I reached back and pulled my backpack off, holding it in one hand and awkwardly cradling the gun case in my other arm as I scrambled in the pack for my car keys. I almost tripped as the hard trail gave way to the gravel of the car park, but managed to keep my footing as I scrabbled towards the car. I fumbled with the keys for what seemed like ages before throwing open the door, tossing my things across and slinging myself into the driver's seat, both hands gripping the wheel with a white-knuckled grip. I looked at myself in the rear view mirror and was taken aback at the haggard, wild-eyed figure that stared back at me. There were rivers of clear skin in the dust caking my face. I realized I'd been sobbing with relief since I'd been able to see the end of the trail. I looked back out at where the trail started and saw the dust from the path swirl as the wind picked up once more. I hurriedly rammed the keys into the ignition. I gunned the engine, throwing the car into gear, pulling out quickly and peeling out onto the road. As I sped back towards the city, it wasn't until I hit the main highway before my heart stopped pounding and my breath slowed to normal levels. A few hours later, Less time than it took to drive out there. I was not doing the speed limit. I was home with my doors locked and the sunlight streaming in through the windows. My phone turned on after I plugged it in. Now you work. So I messaged my sister so she wouldn't call search and rescue. A day or so later, I called the park service and told them that I'd been stalked by some mountain lions on the trail, and they removed the area from the information section of their website. Nobody really went there anyway, they said. I didn't mention the abandoned car or the bloody boot, and didn't tell anyone what had really happened. And after all, who would have believed me if I did? There was no point in sending anyone else into danger. Later, I started reading up on some local folklore, but stopped pretty quickly. I came across something that made me start to shake at the description of it. I'm fairly sure I know now what the thing was, but I decided I wouldn't look any more into it, and I'd just try to put it all out of my head. It hasn't really worked. My breath catches in my throat every time I go into a dark room while I fumble around for a light switch. I don't hike much anymore. If I do go hiking, then it's strictly along well-used trails, and I never, ever do an overnighter. I had work transfer me to a branch a long way from the desert. I couldn't deal with feeling a hot wind anymore. I'm somewhere where it snows now. My encounter left me with a lot of unanswered questions, but one question ranks above all the rest, and it's something I'm not really sure I want to know the answer to. If that thing I read about is real, then what else is real and hiding out there in the dark? What is there? Spooky. That was actually a really nicely well-written Campfire creepypasta. This had 8.97 out of 10 stars. And it is, out of 318 votes. I really liked the descriptions of it. I mean, it wasn't like super scary, but I thought it was really interesting. Pretty creepy, honestly. So what do you guys think that creepy creature was? It helped me imagine a Junji Ito moment through that narrative. It was amazing. It was descriptive. It was really nice. Yeah. I really love reading creepypastas like this. Simple and to the point, but it definitely describes like their sense of dread and fear and panic. Some people were saying in the comments that it sounds like a Wendigo. Have you guys ever watched the Wendigo movie before? Yeah. Let's see. Let's do nature and the outdoors. Oh my god. Guys. I could make it even more of like a horror thing right now for you if you wanted. What if this was what if this was the monster? Do you guys see it? Oh my god, it's too dark. Oh my god, you guys can't see it. It's too dark. Let me see if I can get it. Oh my god. That's fucking terrifying. Holy shit. Wait, that's actually really freaking scary. I don't want it. Help me. Oh my god, no. Be gone! Be gone, you devil! Be gone! I need s'mores. May the power of s'mores compel you! Be gone! Be gone! I'll give you my foot fungus! Oh, okay. I guess that scared it away. I knew it. I knew that the monsters would always be scared of the foot fungus. Come on, guys. We know it. The foot fungus. Ah! Foot fungus? Where? Right here. Everyone fears the fungus. He must have been Canadian. He must have been Canadian. He was trying his best not to be Canadian. Okay. Should we do another one? A really short one? Let's find another short creepypasta. Let's see. There's some that are like 10 minutes of reading. Let's take a look. Oh, this one has a pretty good rating too. Let me see the reviews. No, this is like a Stranger Things one. What about this one is... Well, this one's a really long one. It's I went undercover to a body farm. That doesn't look very fun to read. I don't want to read that. What about Children of the Sacred Gate? How many ratings did this get? No, 7.696. That reminds me, I couldn't stay up for all of last night's stream. Says you commit global genocide with the fungus. No. With Canada. Canada kept thwarting my plans. And I couldn't take over the world because of stupid Canada. My fungus was immune in Canada, guys. Impossible. I know. Next time we'll get them, though. Next time, I promise we'll get them. Creepypasta. Let's see this one. Cryptid. What is this one? No, not really that. Not that much. Ooh. This one. Nah, it doesn't have a good... What are some good creepypastas? Right here. Good creepypastas for a campfire. Ooh. Okay, these are two very short ones. 1 minute of reading. You guys ready? This one's a 1 minute. A 1 minute creepypasta. I love this one. Okay, 1 minute creepypasta. Are you ready? This time with no BGM because I want to keep the ambiance of the fire. Okay, I'm making it a little louder so you guys can hear it. Are there creepypastas of skinwalkers or shapeshifters? I'm pretty sure there are. There are a lot of them. SCP-7179 is a good read. I actually really want to get into SCP. I was at a bookstore the other day and I saw that they had a lot of SCP lore books. And I didn't know that it was such a big thing, that there were a lot of books made of them too. And I kind of want to get into it. Maybe I'll do like an SCP reading because I've seen a lot of VTubers get into SCP as well. I feel like it's really right up my alley because I really love the creepy and the occult and all that fun stuff. Canadians love their maple syrup or their foot fungus. Maybe the cure to foot fungus is actually maple syrup. Maybe that's why Canadians cannot get their maple syrup. Yeah. Alright, so this one is called The Portraits, aka The Cabin in the Woods. This is a very famous creepypasta. There was a hunter in the woods who, after a long day of hunting, was in the middle of an immense forest. It was getting dark, and having lost his bearings, he decided to head in one direction until he was clear of the increasingly oppressive foliage. After what seemed like hours, he came across a cabin in a small clearing. Realizing how dark it had grown, he decided to see if he could stay there for the night. He approached and found the door ajar. Nobody was inside. The hunter flopped down on the single bed, deciding to explain himself to the owner in the morning. As he looked around, he was surprised to see the walls adorned by many portraits, all painted in incredible detail. Without exception, they appeared to be staring down at him, their features twisted into the looks of hatred. Staring back, he grew increasingly uncomfortable, making a concerted effort to ignore the many hateful faces. He turned to face the wall, and exhausted, he fell into a restless sleep. Face down in an unfamiliar bed, he turned blinking in unexpected sunlight. Looking up, he discovered that the cabin had no portraits, only windows. Oh my god. Oh my god, I hate it when they do that. Oh my god. Wait, what? Have you guys, you know what one of my favorite creepypastas is? Creepypastas are? Let me see if I can find it. It's a pretty gruesome one. Have you ever heard of the creepypasta or the horror story urban legend of the licked hand or the doggy lick? Have you guys ever heard of it? This one was like my favorite urban legend back in the day. No? Oh my god. Oh my god, it is... Oh, okay. So there's that one. There's like... Okay. Oh, you know it? Okay, hold on a second. Okay, so there's two of them. Like, these are both really good. These are both. This is from like Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Let me see if I can find the original version. Okay. I'll just read this version. My great-grandmother lived alone up in the mountains at her cabin. Her husband was dead, so she was there all alone. She only had one companion, and that was her loving dog. They both adored each other, and the dog was a great comfort to her. Every night when she went to bed, the dog would lick her hand to let her know that she was there to protect her. One night, she had gone to bed, and the girl had licked her hand, but he had done routinely every night since her husband died. But this night was different. She had woken up in the middle of the night because she heard her dog whimpering. She wanted to comfort him and let her know that she was there for him. And let him know she was there for him. So she stuck out her hand out by the bed and she felt the dog gently lick her hand like always. She figured he was just cold, so she went back to sleep. The dog's whimpering had woken her up a second time in the night, so she stuck out her hand. The dog licked it and she went back to sleep. This happened a third time, and she stuck out her hand and the dog stopped whimpering and came and licked her hand. She stayed awake a few moments afterwards and she went back to sleep again. In the morning, she woke up and stuck her hand out by the bed, but nothing licked her hand. She thought that the dog had already awakened and was just in the front room. She rolled over and got out of the bed and heard a drip. Drip, drip, drip. She thought the sound was coming from the kitchen, so she walked over and turned the handles on the sink faucet, but it wasn't the source of the noise. After frustratingly checking the sink and its pipes, she gave up and continued into the bathroom and took a shower. As she got closer to the bathroom door, it was evident that the sound was coming from within. She opened the door, looked above the bathtub, and gasped in utter horror. There, hanging from the light by his collar, was her loving companion. His blood was dripping into the tub. She screamed and began to cry, wiping her eyes and sobbing. She turned and looked into the mirror. In the mirror, she saw the dog's reflection, and written on the mirror in her dog's blood, with drips and streaks hanging down from each letter, were the words, "Humans can lick, too." Very concerning. Okay. One last story, guys. One last horror story before I call it a night and eat my last s'more. So we'll enjoy this last midnight s'more together. I really should not be eating this late at night, but I don't care. People are like, you should stop eating 4 hours before you go to sleep or whatever. And I'm just here like, I'm going to eat my 3 giant ass s'mores before I go to sleep. I don't care. I'm going to have such sweet dreams. I'm going to have such sweet dreams. Last call for s'mores, y'all. You guys ready? You guys ready? All right, get cozy in your seats. Tuck up your little butts. And let's start. This one is my favorite creepypasta. And some of you may have heard it before. It is called I Know Your Way. I've been lying down for hours now. It's 5:35 a.m., and there's not much I can do. You know what the worst part about my situation is? I'm in the same room with my parents. They keep looking at me, and I can't help but look back and try not to cry or scream. Their eyes are focused on me, and their mouths are wide open. There's the strong scent of blood, and I feel paralyzed with fear. Here's the thing. The second I make any hint that I'm not asleep anymore, I'm completely fucked. I will die, and there's nobody around to save me. I've been trying to think of a way out, but the only idea I have is to rush for the door and run outside the front door and scream for help, hoping my neighbors hear me. It's risky, but if I stay here, I'll surely die. He's waiting for me to wake up and see his masterpiece. You're probably wondering what's going on. I get ahead of myself sometimes. About 3 hours ago, I heard screaming from the other side of the house. I got up and went to check on the noise before realizing I had to use the restroom. Instead of doing the smart thing and investigating, I used the bathroom first. I could have gotten myself killed right then for my stupid actions, but I actually did my business and took a peek outside the bathroom. There was blood on the carpet. I got very worried and ran back to my room, hiding under my sheets like the pussy I was. I tried to convince myself to go back to sleep, that it was just some really vivid dream or something. but I heard the bathroom door open. Like the terrified child I was, I peeked from under my blankets to see what was going on. I could see something dragging my dead parents into the room. It was not human, I can tell you that. It was hairless, with no eyes and no clothing. It walked like a caveman, with its back slouched as it dragged my parents. But this thing was much smarter than any caveman. It was aware of what it was doing. It propped my dad up on the edge of my bed and made him face me, and then sat my mother down in the chair and positioned her towards me as well. It then started rubbing its hands upon the wall, staining them with blood, and then drew a circle with the devil's pentagram on it. This thing had made what it probably would call a masterpiece. To finish it off, it scribbled a message onto the wall that I could not read in the darkness. It then positioned itself under my bed, waiting to strike. The scariest thing now, my eyes have adjusted to the darkness since, and I can't read the message on the wall. I don't want to look at it because it's terrifying to think about it, but I need to see before I'm killed. I peek at the creature's masterpiece. On the wall, it read, "I know you're awake." And then that's how you die. And that's how they died. Oh my god, this is so creepy. Yeah. I know, it's so scary. Alright, let us transition back to some more relaxing vibes. Let me turn off the effect right here. Then let me just get rid of this. Let me get rid of my flashlight. Where's the flashlight? Oh, there it is. Lesson learned, don't mess with the devil. Exactly. Okay, let's finish off this last some more, guys. Do you guys have your final ingredients for s'more if you guys came in a little late? Welcome to Addy Stream. Oh, I turned my lights off a little bit. There we go. Welcome to Addy Stream. Let me see if I can turn the light over this way a little. There we go. Now you can see my lovely s'more. I wonder if I feel like I should get a ring light. We're going to blowtorch it. Like, pretend this is the campfire. Now I'm gonna blowtorch the s'more and eat it as my final dessert for the evening. I deserve it. I worked really hard today. And I know you guys worked really hard today too, so I hope you guys treat yourself with something special. I hope you guys, eat something really nice and something very satisfying and nutritious. I hope you tell yourself every day that you did a good job and that you are a wonderful person. Because I know you guys are. And you all are very kind and very special. And you guys all deserve to treat yourself. Just like this toasty s'more that is currently catching on fire. Oh, I hope my smoke alarm doesn't go off. That would be a bummer at 12:30 in the morning. Alright, so only positive affirmations from this moment out. And just like a s'more, each and every one of us have many, many layers. Some of the layers might be hard. Some of the layers might be soft. Some of the layers might be sweet. Some of the layers might be bitter. Some of the layers might be a little burnt. But in the end, when they all come together, they become a beautiful masterpiece. They become a beautiful masterpiece that makes whoever has it in their possession the most happiest person in the whole world. I'm not saying that I wish to possess all of you and that would make me the happiest owl in the world. Although I did hint to trying to start an Athi Nation in the future. But yes, if you guys make yourself into a s'more and give yourself to me, I would be the happiest owl in the world. No, change that fact. If you guys turned into milkshakes and gave yourself to me, I'd be the happiest owl in the world. All of you should just stop being pill owls and start being milkshakes. Strawberry milkshakes specifically. Then I'll be a happy owl. You thought it was an onion? How do you think this is an onion? This is the most beautiful creation that God has made. It is a chocolate and cracker and fluffy, sugary goodness, gooiness. And this is just a little bit of the caramelization. Please enjoy this beautiful last s'more image. Oh my gosh, look at that focus. It's beautiful. The layers, they're so beautiful. They're so intricate. This morning, okay, fine. I dare all of you owls to stick an onion, put a piece of onion inside your s'more. Wonder what that'd taste like. No, the layers. Like an onion? No, but an onion just has layers that are exactly the same, guys. Onions are boring. Sure, you can be a layered person like an onion, but all of the layers are the same. Humans, people, all of our layers are very different. Like a s'more, the layers are very different. Hard layer, soft layer, chocolate layer, sweet layer, bitter layer, burnt layer, non-burnt layer, crispy layer, spicy layer, I don't even know. In the end, when they're all together, they make the perfect masterpiece. So it doesn't matter what your layers are. They all make you, and that's the most important thing. Oh my god. I almost choked on it. No. Chew after chew. Chew. I'm not dying from eating a s'more today. Chew. Swallow. Chew faster. Ugh. Why is it so hard to swallow? That was a really thick s'more. That was really thick. That was really hard to swallow, guys. I had a little trouble with that. I almost choked on that. Did not melt that marshmallow enough. Ugh. 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 That was really weird. That felt really weird. Maybe it's because I didn't chew it enough. Because then when I swallowed it, it was like really big. Like really, yeah, it just felt really big. Like I was swallowing a pill. It's thick or think. Well, you know, I should be used to drinking thick things because I really like milkshakes. So I should be used to drinking really thick substances. Oh my god, shut up! Shut up! You guys are so... You think I'm a freak? You guys are freaks. Stop being hentai. hentai. Yamete, oh you perv. Yamete, yamerayo. Oh no, I think you guys know. I'm say so because I say so, exactly. There should be a song. I should write a song about that. I'm say so cause I say so. Instead of I'm sexy and I know it, it should be like I'm say so cause I say so. I can make a parody like that. Just got back from eating lunch. What happened? We told a bunch of spoopy stories. I ate a really thick s'more and almost choked on it. And then everybody got really hot and bothered, and then I got angry at them and called them hentais. You didn't miss much. Just typical Afi moment. Typical Afi and Pilal moment, am I right? Henvi? Ah, the bonk, right. I think it's starting to rub off on you guys a little bit. My unhingedness. I don't remember you guys being like this before. I think it's rubbing off on you. You know what else is rubbing off? Just kidding. I could go on all day. Unhinged bee. You guys. Silly. Your mom. No, I'm not your mommy. But do you want me to be your mommy? No, I will not be your mommy. Henthing is kind of crazy. Momthy, am I your momthy? I mean, can I be your momthy? What do moms say? I mean, my mom's literally right here, right outside my room. Maybe like, welcome home, my darling. Oh no, that's like husband. Welcome home, sweetie. How was school? Did you finish your lunch? How was your test? Did you score okay? Oh, you didn't do so well. That's all right. That's okay. Well, we can try again next time. I made you your favorite snack. Moms tell you to pause the game and you're on. Or I could be the other mom. I could be like, I don't know, the name of my son or child. Billy! Get out of your room right now. I need you to take out the trash. What? You're too busy playing League of Legends again? Stop talking to your online friends and get your ass out here right now and take out the trash, or else I am grounding you for a week. What? You're saying I have no authority over you? Well, get your ass over here right now. I'm gonna Don't make me smack your face. Don't make me call the police on you. Don't make me send you to jail. Don't make me send you to the hospital. I am a nurse. I know what can send you to the hospital, and I know what can barely pass off as child abuse, all right? Okay? I know the difference between child abuse and corporal punishment. I'm just kidding. Do not hit your children. That's very bad. Very outdated form of discipline. Please do not use any sort of physical punishment on your children ever in the future. I would never. Emotional punishment, emotional harm though. That's another thing. Why did I give birth to such a stupid child? Why did I even give birth to you? You came out of. How did you even come out of me? I wish you would just go back into me and never be born. Wait, that's a little weird. Why did I say that? I do not wish you went back inside me. Please Please redact everything I just said in the past 30 seconds. That is not what I meant to say. Do not ever say that to your child. Oh no, for sure. Forgetting beam, please forget it. Please. Emotional damage, I know. Emotional damage. And then I come back and I just give you a bowl of fruit. Here you go, son. Here you go. Here you go, daughter. Eat your oranges. Eat your sliced apples. I made them into a bunny shape like your favorite anime girl. You always keep talking about bunny girls or whatnot. I made you some bunny apples. And I'm sorry for being mean before, but I was just very upset. Because your father has not touched me in over 2 years. I'm just kidding. That's No, I'm serious. Went real too quick. This is your typical American household story, guys. Fruit makes the memories go away. Instead of forgetty beam, you have the fruitgetty beam. Because it's a fruit. And you want them to forget. So fruget. Fruit get it all. What trauma did you come into? Well, people were saying that they wanted mommy, so I was trying to roleplay mommy a little bit, and then it became a little too real, so I'm maybe gonna stop now. I'm maybe gonna stop the mommy. But you know who else is a mommy? I keep thinking when people say mommy, I keep thinking of the ice cream song, and I keep thinking about how Shiki-chan has such a mommy voice. And I can't stop thinking about Shiki-chan. It's mommy voice. I was actually at the gym earlier today, and I was catching up on the Apothecary Diaries, but then I got bored, and then I started listening to Ice Cream for my final stretch of my run, because that is a song that kind of motivates me to end my run. So it's been a little habit lately that every time I'm on the treadmill in the last 5 minutes of my run, I just pull up the Ice Cream and start playing that Love Live brain rot song on my Spotify, and then as soon as it gets to the part, wait, let me try. Hi, nani ga suki. I can't do it because I'm sick. Hi, nani ga suki. Strawberry forever. Yorima anata. Shiki-chan. And she's all like, hi. 何が好きクッキー&クリームよりもあなたみんなはい何が好きもちろん大好きアイスクリームダメられないI don't know the lyrics, but then it goes like ice cream, cream, show ice cream, cream, da 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 da. Next time we're gonna karaoke, we're singing it. So anyways, that was my thing. I love that song. It's still stuck in my head, even though it was stuck in my head last month, and it's still stuck in my head because now my friends are catching on to it late, and they just keep making memes out of it now. And my friends keep posting it on their Instagram stories, so every time I pull up Instagram, it's just like, and I'm just like, no, not this one again. And then you know what my Instagram basically is now at this point? It's Demi-chan and tung 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 sahur, and tralalero tralala and freaking bombardilo crocodilo and ballerina cappuccina. Bananini chimpanzini. Tong 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 sahur. I don't want to see any more tong 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 sahur, okay? It is just so stupid. I do like the tralalero tralala though. They can keep tralalero tralala. I saw this one AI video of like the love story between Tong 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 Sahur and Ballerina Cappuccina, and it was so good. It was actually really emotional, and I think I cried a little bit. I ship Ballerina Cappuccina and Tong 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 Sahur. Like, they need to be together. And then there were all these like AI videos of the little tralala babies. They're so cute. And little baby tralala. Tralalelo tralala babies me. But yeah, if they had a movie, I definitely would ship them. Gen Z brain rot is interesting, but I actually really like this brain rot. It's a very cute and wholesome brain rot for this. It just reminds me a lot of the brain rot we used to watch when we were kids. And then an Instagram video of that actually popped up on my feed where it was like, remember, like Gen Z brain rot is all of this stuff, but then back in the day, this is like millennial brain rot, or not Gen Z. I guess I am technically Gen Z. It's like Gen Alpha brain rot at this point. But Gen Z, I still count as Gen Z, guys. I'm not old. I'm part of Gen Z. But back in the day, our brain rot was like Annoying Orange and Charlie the Unicorn and the Duck in the Lemonade Stand and like Badgers and Do What You Want 'Cause a Pirate is Free. You are a pirate and stuff like that, you know, and the Hamster Dance and Caramel Dancing. That I miss that stuff, and those Hatsune Miku brain rot songs as well. I mean, still have them, but I miss those days, you know. Yeah, Nyanka, I remember that. Mushroom. Badger, mushroom. Snake, oh my god. I remember that part. Oh my god, it's a snake. Badger. Mushroom. And my favorite part, snake, it's a snake. The narwhal song. Narwhals swimming in the ocean, causing a commotion, 'cause they are so awesome. Narwhals, they're pretty big and pretty fat. Na 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 na. And then in a fight. Na 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 na. I remember me and my friends used to memorize the whole narwhal song. I don't remember it anymore, but that was when I was like 13 years old. So, and Charlie, we watched all of the Charlie Unicorn episodes. That was really funny. All of the cartoons that came from that channel, I forgot what the name of the channel was that made Charlie the Unicorn, but there was stuff like Salad Fingers was on there. It kind of reminds me of like Smiling Friends. I think that our type of humor is very similar to what Smiling Friends is like. So that's why I think a lot of people really like Smiling Friends, because it's very reminiscent to that old-timey kind of brain rot humor. Yeah. You love the normal song too. Do you guys remember that game? Did you guys ever play that game where you play as a unicorn and in the background it's the always I wanna be with you and make believe with you. Harmony. And you played stuff like Quap. I always played that unicorn game. What is that called? The unicorn. It's called Unicorn. Oh, Robot Unicorn Attack. That's what it is. Oh my god, I love that game. I was obsessed with Robot Unicorn Attack. I remember playing Hotel 626. I remember, all that. Oh, Happy Tree House, of course. Robot unicorn, and yeah. Where's the smiling friends people cut their teeth? Well, I want them to make new smiling friends. Oh my gosh, speaking of smiling friends, another TV show that I just caught the newest episode of, Amazing Digital Circus, came out with their 4th episode, right? Which was all about the fork. No, not the fork. It's the Gangles episode. Oh my god, so good. Amazing Digital Circus is so mesmerizing. Like, it draws you in some way that the animation is so fluid and expressive. And then the voice acting, of course, is just perfect. But when I watch the Amazing Digital Circuit, I have to watch it like 3 or 4 times because I feel like there's always something in the background that I'm gonna miss. And it's just phenomenal. Like, the animation team really just goes above and beyond with this sort of thing. And it just draws you in. I just wish I was an animator now because of this show. It's so good. The ribbon, I know. And are any of you guys fans of Amazing Digital Circus? Because I am. I really like I've been listening to its theme song lately. The I love the suite, especially, you know, the part in the first episode where you Pomni just like realizes that she's stuck in the digital world, the digital circus forever, and then she has this like look of dread on her face, and then plays this like this big suite, like orchestral suite of the theme. I was like, this is actually a banger. So I started listening to the suite, and I really love it. And then I also started listening to Epic the Musical recently because my friends are telling me to get into Epic the Musical. So if I start singing Epic the Musical songs in the future, then it might so happen because I'm starting to listen through the songs right now. I don't know why I didn't discover it earlier, but it is amazing and I love it, and I love anything to do with Greek mythology. I mean, my name is Avi, so... Oh, Zoob! Oh, Zoobo! Yeah! Music in the end was awesome. Lish just posted a Kate and Gangle short today. Oh yeah! My favorite episode was still the 3rd one. That was the scariest episode by far. Like, I almost pissed my pants watching it, and I didn't think that a show like that would creep me out even more than it already did, but it went above and beyond because it was already creepy with the fact that all the characters are so unhinged in their own way, or there's just something off about somebody. Like, there's something off about each and every character. And then they added the horror aspect to that. But, oh my god, the creature that they met in, like, the labyrinth or whatever, in that horror episode, oh my god, it was so scary. It was so scary. I still have nightmares of it. I really liked it. I would rewatch it again. Notice that stories inspired Greek mythology have become more popular again. Exactly, yeah. The flying face, yeah. Yep, that meme reminds me of the flooding story you told us. Yeah, exactly. But a lot of fun things to discover and look out for. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun week. Hopefully I can recover to 100% soon because I really want to start recording some covers. There's so many covers and songs and originals and stuff that I've been leaving in the back burner for so long, that I've left in the back burner for so long, and they're just piling up right now in my task list, and I really want to just get them all done and dusted. I have so many covers that, you know, are halfway recorded or like halfway done, or just need mixing, just need editing, and need art, and need an MV artist and stuff like that. So I'm just so sad that I got sick in the very beginning of this week because I was planning to be very productive, but it's okay. I'm going to get my voice back 100%. And everything's gonna be okay, and we're gonna have more fun Athi covers, and it's gonna be just like it was in the good old days, because nothing can ever bring me down. I'm the best around. I'm the best around. No one ever gonna bring me down. I'm the best around. And we don't have to think about the past, because the past is the past, like Elsa says. I feel like when I was 17, I low-key was almost about to get a tattoo from Frozen. I would have tattooed myself like with Elsa's catchphrase, "Let it go," or "The past is in the past," or something like that. But I didn't really experience anything traumatic in my past when I was 17. I would definitely get it now, but I don't really want to tattoo anything on myself just because it makes it hard to go to hot springs in Japan if you have tattoos. Although you can cover them, you can buy tattoo covers. Although it doesn't make a comfortable experience. So my sister has a lot of tattoos though, and they're all really cool. No regrets. It's in the past, but it still hurts. Yeah, sometimes I love to think about all the amazing things that I did in the past, and I have like really bad imposter syndrome, and I think to myself, how the hell did I do all of that? Like, did I really do all of that in the past? And can I still do it again? Maybe I've gotten worse. You know, I always think to myself, maybe I've just gotten worse. Maybe I'm just like an older, worser version of myself at this point, and I've just kind of phased out, and I've already reached my peak. But I can't keep thinking negative thoughts like that all the time, because in reality, you know, I keep thinking about that when I'm at work and I'm home, whenever I see my computer set up and I don't have the desire to even touch my keyboard or my mouse anymore. It's like, I don't know, it's because of all the things that I experienced. It was just really hard for me to get over it, and I thought I would be able to bounce back faster. But I think sometimes when you lose something very important to you, it does take quite a while to grieve. And I realized that I didn't really have a lot of time to properly grieve what had happened to all of us. And at the same time, I was going through a lot of life changes, right? So it's important to just, you know, take your time to process those emotions, and in a healthy way. I don't want to come back and face everybody in like a distorted mindset, you know? So I think I have pretty much fully grieved most of what had happened to me in the past, and it's okay. Sometimes I still find it bizarre that I managed to pull through despite everything, because it was quite a crazy ordeal. I didn't expect it to blow up the way that it did, honestly. I was like, did it really gain that much attention? And you know, people are still like, they still remember me from that time, and I'm like, wow, that's not something I really want to be remembered by. But if it inspires others to speak up for themselves, then I hope that it's at least one good thing that came out of it, you know? Yeah. I still think about it every day, of course. I still have merchandise of it in my room. And I still have all the assets on my computer. So it's not like I can't avoid it 100%. I still have everything here. Right? But you can't just ignore the past, because the past is always going to be part of you. And some of you have literally been here since my very beginning days, before I was even born as Athi. So in my past life. And you know, I'm so grateful that many of you have not obviously given up who I was back in the day, like who I was who I was before I reincarnated, because I promise you it could happen again in the future. Especially with like VTubers and stuff, we just keep reincarnating, but we never change who we are as a person. So I hope that no matter what kind of form I take, that you guys will always be there, and that you guys stay with me, not just because, you know, of how I look or how I present myself, but because of my personality, and because of how I entertain and how I love to chat with you guys, and hopefully it feels like a second home to you guys here. So yeah, ride or die, we'll still be here. Athi's Athi no matter what, right? I've tried to change myself a lot in the past. I've tried to mold myself to fit other people's expectations and my own expectations, and what I think people would like to see. But I realize that is not a very good long-term solution. And in the end, if people don't like you for who you are, then there's no point in putting yourself out there and making content that you love if people don't love who you are, if you know what I mean. because in the end they can tell that what you're doing is fake and what you're doing is selfish and just for attention. People really live for authenticity in this day and age, and I feel the same way. I do love my fair share of kayfabe, and if people are able to weave the kayfabe, like the role play and their character really well, then that's amazing. And one day I really hope to be able to be the type of person who's able to do that. Improve my acting skills, improve my improv skills, improve my conversational skills, just be a better person overall. Because in the end, I want to feel like I learned something out of this experience. I want to feel like I can take what I've learned from streaming, the philosophies of it, the ethics of it, the work ethics of it, and apply it to what I do outside. With my friends, my family, with my work, in the hospital, with everything. Just miss the apothecary. It fitted so good with this community. I miss it too. Maybe we can bring the apothecary back. I mean, I still work at a clinic. Doesn't mean the apothecary's gone. Maybe you'll see a Mainthy one day. Maybe we'll see like an old Renaissance Affy 2.0 model with a different outfit, and I'll be back in like an old-timey apothecary. Right now I just work at a regular clinic, but it kind of has apothecary vibes. You know, I'm in the forest after all. Doesn't mean I can't start one. Apothecaries still do exist in my world. Yeah, everything I know of you says you're a good person is rarer than it should be. Right, and there's so many people who are like that too. And, you know, I always think to myself, maybe I'm not skilled enough to compete with others in terms of being entertaining, right? Maybe I need to improve my skills and my repertoire. Just like trying to find a job. You know, you sometimes think to yourself, maybe I don't have enough experience. Maybe I don't have enough skills to apply for this job. And it's very normal to think that. And I definitely thought that when I was applying to jobs as a new grad nurse. I only wanted to work in pediatrics. I was like, but I don't have the experience. I don't have the skills. But I'm the type of person, and I will always fight. I'm the type of person who's super passionate with the population that I work with or in the setting that I work with. And I will make sure wholeheartedly that I will learn and absorb like a sponge. I literally turn into SpongeBob and absorb everything around me and learn everything I can to the best of my ability and become the best version of who I can be in that moment. To the point that you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that you only just started here. You already seem like you're such a professional and seasoned nurse. So that's exactly what I did, and I made my mark. And I fought for it. I fought for it hard. Got my dream job right out of college, and now I've been in my dream job for 5 years. It's like a dream come true. I remember over 5 years ago when I was in college, I would think to myself while I was studying for my boards, I would pray every day. I'd be like, I really, really hope that I get my dream job, just to work as a pediatric nurse, to work as a pediatric nurse, to work as a pediatric nurse. I will not take any other job under the sun, even if it takes me a year to find a job, even if it takes me 2 years to find a job, I will do what it takes to become a peds nurse and learn as much as I can. And then ultimately end up at my dream hospital, which is the big cancer hospital in my area. So I'm almost there. I feel like I definitely have a chance to get hired at the cancer hospital in my area. I definitely have the experience. I've worked in an oncology setting. I've worked as peds nurse for 5 years. I know people who work in the hospital. My old educator used to be the educator at that cancer hospital, so she must know people. The only problem with that hospital is that it is too far from where I live right now, so once I get my living situation sorted out, I could consider applying there. But right now I'm not thinking about applying there at the moment, although in the future that would be my end goal. But right now I'd like to absorb as much as I can in like a more varied setting. before I move on to a more specialized setting. So I'm fine with where I am in terms of being in pediatric med surg and PICU. But I think if I ultimately settle down into like a specialty, it definitely would be the oncology setting. But you guys already know that. So I always just fight. The moral of this is just, even though you don't have the skills or experience, just show that you're passionate about it. And that's exactly how I got my second job, actually. I didn't tell a lot of people about how I got my second job after I quit my first hospital. I got an interview for this cancer center, and the job was to work at the outpatient infusion clinic, the pediatric infusion clinic, right, to give chemo to kids and stuff. I had no experience. Well, I had very, very minimal experience in giving chemo to kids. Like, maybe I've given 1 or 2 chemo before, but it was mostly just signing off on chemo, not actually knowing what the chemo is or what it does. And I just did a chemo certification. That's nothing. You can literally do a 2-day course and not know what you're doing or talking about, like actually knowing about how to set it up and hang it and the interactions and the side effects and stuff like that are all things that you need to learn on the job. But so this cancer center was specifically looking for someone with experience, and they were struggling because not a lot of nurses have pediatric oncology experience, but they have adult oncology experience. So a lot of the times they were hiring adult nurses to work with the peds population, but they noticed that they were not very good with kids. So they gave me a chance because when I interviewed with them, they first of all obviously asked me about my peds experience, and I told them I've already worked with peds for like 3.5 years. I was very passionate about working with kids. And then they asked me about my oncology experience, and I said I didn't really have any, but I did have a certification. So they kind of were like, oh, that's a big thing of what we're looking for. Like, we really need someone who has oncology experience. We can't just hire anyone. But I knew by the way I presented myself and the way that I talked about how I love my work, that they were interested in giving me a chance. And I remember after I'd been hired and worked for like a few months, I sat down for like I wouldn't say like performance review, but more like a checkup from the manager. And he told me, I asked him like, oh, why did you guys decide to hire me? I think the conversation just led to that point. And he said, he actually did tell me, he was like, we almost didn't want to hire you because you had no oncology experience, but we wanted to give you a chance because we could see how passionate you are with kids. And that was actually something more important to us, is that we wanted somebody who we knew would work really, really well with the pediatric population, because learning how to hang chemo, learning the technical stuff, that can all come later. But being good with children and knowing how to deal with stressful situations and with such stressful situations with them and with parents is something that you need to gain experience from, and that is something that you can't just learn in a day. And that's why they asked me so many questions, like, what would you do? Like, can you name a situation? I remember the interview was so long and extensive. They were like, so name a situations where you went above and beyond for a parent, or like describe a situation where something bad happened to the kid, and how did you do to remedy that? And I remember I had to like think of so many things on the top of my head, and it was so stressful. But I remember he was like, yeah, so I'm glad we gave you a chance, and that sort of thing. So I was really happy. So don't give up, guys. That's what I just wanted to tell you, and hopefully this inspires you, that when you're trying to look for your dream job, it is there in some shape or form. All right. People will tell you the opposite. They'll tell you, oh, you can't just apply with passion. You can't just apply with a dream. Like, you need the skills. And that's true. But if you do have the passion and the dream, the skills will come along with it, right? So I believe in giving people a chance. I don't believe that personality can be learned. It is something that is formed. It's something that is formed over time. And I believe that, you know, you should judge a person by their personality first before you can judge them with skills, because skills can be learned. And if they're struggling skill-wise, then you can help them. Like my friend who failed her nursing boards 10 times, I thought she would never pass. But she did, and now she's an ICU nurse, and she's a certified critical care nurse, and she's thriving, and now she wants to work as a nurse anesthesiologist. The girl who failed her NCLEX 10 times now wants to be a nurse anesthesiologist. She is studying to go back to CRNA school. Can you believe that? So don't ever let your dreams be dreams, like Shia LaBeouf says. Okay, you can fail your nursing boards 10 times and still become a doctor, right? So she didn't quit. She didn't quit after her first failure. And would I still trust my life in her hands? Probably not. Probably not. But it is just great to see that the fire has not died out in her. Although she is in a very special situation. Like she has no family here, and she's basically been exiled by her mother, who is a doctor. So I think her entire life arc is basically trying to get revenge on her mom, because her mom never thought that she could become a doctor because she was too stupid. She wanted to become a nurse, and then her mom basically excommunicated her, forced her to leave. And so she was struggling, obviously, in nursing school, and then didn't pass. But now she's a nurse, and I think now she wants to become a nurse anesthesiologist, because her end goal is to find the easiest job that makes the most money with the best hours. And I'm not saying being a nurse anesthesiologist is an easy job, but once you get the hang of it, it becomes pretty streamlined, and it's like clockwork, and it's very repetitive, and the hours are great, and the risks are very low, and the pay is crazy. The starting pay for nurse anesthesiologists is like $200K and up. So you'll be living a very comfortable life, is what I can tell you. And it's all just operating room cases, which mainly happen during the day and only happen a few times a week if it's elective. So you don't have to worry about crazy shifts. No, $200K a year. $200K a year, not a month. A year. So it's pretty good. You put all your dream into hyperspace. They're trying to kill them in this timeline. No. It's a lot of math then, I think. So she was like Zuko? I think so. She's basically trying to get revenge on her mom. If she becomes a CRNA, she could be like, huh, Mom, I didn't become a doctor, but I became the closest thing a nurse is to a doctor. I became a CRNA. I'm earning basically almost like a doctor. Yeah. Although I did try to tutor her one time, and it was impossible. So I don't know how she managed to pass the NCLEX. Just saying. Alright, I digress. I think it's time for us to eat now. I've been yapping for too long. I always end with some inspirational speech. So anyways, I hope that inspired all y'all. This has been an Athy PSA. Don't give up on your dreams. And it's okay to take things slow, because everybody's on their own timeline, okay? Doesn't matter if you're old or if you're young. Everybody's on their own timeline. And just be glad if you're a little older, because at least you have experience. And you have fearlessness. I think that's the most important thing. That when you get a little older, you become a little less scared of things. I'm glad that I'm a little less scared of a lot of things in life. So just be fearless. Fearless, guys. Be fearless. You're very welcome. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed my little inspirational speech. And I hope you enjoyed our little cozy campfire session too. I hope it was healing to the soul. It was definitely healing for me. All of my streams are healing. Yeah. Get too tired to get scared of everything. I agree. I'm just too tired to even give a damn. Just too tired, man. My bones are cracking. Everything is cracking. My head is cracking. Yeah. So, I will see you guys later tonight for some Hello Charlotte. It's gonna be very exciting. Hopefully my voice will be a little more recovered by then, but if not, then you're just gonna have to deal with stuffy, croaky, athy Charlotte voice, or stuffy, croaky, athy voice acting, which is fine. You're just gonna have to deal with it. And have a wonderful rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in this lovely, lovely world. Go get some sleep. I'll keep the fire up a little longer for you so we can stay toasty. Have a good night, bee. Sleep tight, bee, and don't let the bed bugs bite thee. Night, night, night.